Welcome to day 3. We're talking about sales today. Joel, if you can just summarize a little bit of what we talked about day 1, 2, which is probably impossible because
Sure,
of
yeah.
hours.
No, I can do a quick recap.
Yeah.
First of all, guys, thank you all for being here. Means a lot. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the trainings. I know I have. My goal has been to overwhelm you guys. So what's happened the last few days is we've loaded your brains with everything that you guys need to know to launch and scale a 7-figure agency. Now a few questions or a few quick housekeeping items. Number one, yes, this is all going to be recorded, uploaded to YouTube. This is also going to all be recorded and uploaded to my channel and High Levels channel. So both channels. On top of that, you guys are going to get access to all the resources at the end of the day 4 tomorrow. Everything that we've gone over, we're going to have for you guys. On top of that, you're going to get access to all the snapshots. You must have High Level. We do have a promotion right now as a collaboration with me and High Level, 50% off for the first 3 months if you're a new user. You will need those to access the snapshots, the landing pages, the text sequences, the reactivation campaign, everything that we went over. You will need High Level. There's no other way for me to give it to you. Besides that,
I just threw that link into the chat, just FYI for those that don't have High Level.
Okay, cool. How do you access day 2 and day 1? You have 2 options. If this is day 3 and you're like, yo, Joel, yo, Paulson, how do I get access to day 1 and day 2? It's very simple. You can either go to the Facebook group and the High Level Facebook group and look for the replays because we did stream live to the Facebook group. The other option is that you can wait until we launch them on both YouTube channels. So if you want it like right now, you're like, Joel, I need day 1, day 2, go and find the live replay inside of the Facebook group. And if you're okay with waiting, it's all going to be in sequence, in chronological order on YouTube when we upload it in a few weeks. That will take a little bit. So in the meantime, and I believe we're streaming on YouTube right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, it says now streaming on YouTube. Sweet. So, okay, guys. So day 1, this is gonna be a bit of a mind bender. Day 1, the live was streamed on Facebook, so you guys can go back and find it in the High Level Facebook group. Day 2 was streamed on Facebook. You can go back and find it in the Facebook group. Day 3, you're only gonna be able to see it on YouTube until we go back and re-upload everything. So, with that in mind,
Jordan,
definitely.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Jordan, can you do me a big favor? Can you check on YouTube and double check if that is a private or public streaming? Because it looks like it's privately streaming to subscribers where it's
No, it's should be good now. I think we're all set.
really okay. How do I see that? I'm not a techie, you know that.
There's the link here, and people can just click on it, and they're good to go.
Oh, cool. There's like 9 people watching.
No,
All right. So if you're watching on
I would also say, Jordan, can you post in the Facebook group a few
Yep,
times?
I'm doing that right now.
Just like make a few posts being like we're streaming on YouTube.
What a curveball. It took us 20 minutes to just
Hey, we got it. We're on it.
Oh man.
Hey, this is not bad. For day 3, first curveball, you guys have crushed it. You know, and it's really not that bad. It's chill. It feels like a day 3 vibe. It's more chill. I'm more relaxed. Maybe it's because I don't have coffee yet. You know.
That Uber driver is going to show up right at the height and climax.
Oh no, I think he's about to deliver it, and yeah.
All right, cool. So let's get started, Joel. I do have to run to the airport in about 4 hours, so I do have like
no. Today's going to be a warning, guys. Today will be shorter. Today's going to be because the reason we divided into 4 days. Day 1 and day 2 are going to be the most jam-packed. How to get your clients amazing results with pay-per-show, leveraging High Level, AI, and the agency model all together. We went over the ads. We went over the high level sequences. We went over how to call your clients' leads to get them scheduled. We went over the scripts. We even went over how to take payment in advance to really increase their show up rates. We went over all that for both Cairo and roofing. And we also went over how to do reactivation campaigns, how to actually reactivate all of their leads. Day 2, we went over all things acquisition, how to get appointments on your calendar with prospects that want to work with you. We literally broke down the entire system that you can use to scale to 10,000 cold emails a day. We broke down how to do Instagram DMs if you want to get started with a free method where there's literally zero costs. And we went over paid ads. And we showed you guys literally everything. Everything. The ads, the lander, the high level snapshot, everything. And we even showed you guys how to set up the email accounts, how to warm up the email accounts, how to scrape a database, everything that you guys would need to know to start setting appointments. And we gave you 3 different strategies, not 1, not 2, but 3. Today, we're going to talk about how to actually close the deals once you get the appointment. So how do you actually close the deals once you get the appointment? Now, there's 2 phases. I guess let's just dive in. So there's 2 phases of the sales process in the agency space. There's an intro call, and this is where you get to know the prospect over the phone. You get to really get to know them, understand them, all that good stuff. And then we do a second call where we actually show them. We show them high level, we show them our ads, we show them what we're going to do for them. Now, some people might say, Joel, isn't it better to just do a 1-call close? That might be true, but the only reason I prefer a 2-call close in the agency space is because, number 1, it helps set expectations. You're getting them to buy not just one time, you're getting them to buy for a long period of time. So what I noticed in the past is when people do a 1-call close, they're not really sure what they're getting exactly. And then as soon as they find out, oh wait, these are the ads, this is how, this is how the high level AI works, then they start having questions, maybe some doubt creeps in. And you don't want that. I want to make sure that they know exactly what they're signing up for and they're excited. They feel really good about it. So personally, I prefer a 2-call close where you're going to first take them on a discovery where you're going to get to know them. You're going to find out all their pain points, all their desires, all the things that they want out of this marketing system. And then you're going to be like, cool, sounds like we might be a good fit here. Let me show you everything just to make sure this is exactly what you're looking for. And if it is, we can move forward. The reason why that is important is because it sets you up for long-term success. Quick little funny story. One time we closed a client way back when on a 1-call close. And then when the guy hopped on the onboarding call, I had built out all of his ads, high level, everything. I had everything built out, and we hopped on the launch call to say, oh, let's get started and go live. And he was like, where's my website? So he thought it was, I don't know what happened there, but one time we closed a client. One call.
Sorry, that was me. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I was checking the YouTube streaming and it was replaying what you were saying.
Okay, I'm like, are we in this inception right now?
It's a spiritual day.
Okay,
man.
so
Spiritual day. That would have been thrown everybody out.
and then the guy hops on, he's like, Joel, where's my website? And I remember being like, okay, this is not gonna work. Like people need, this is definitely more of a I mean, it's like, for example, the big software companies like High Level, it's a product, it's tech. It's not like an emotional sale. It's not like you're selling someone on working with you for losing weight, for example, and you're just a personal trainer. Like, what is there really to show? For example, let's say you're a personal trainer and you're trying to get someone to sign up for a 12-week package. I mean, you can walk around the gym and show them the gym, but like, there's not much to show. It's pretty self-explanatory. So it's 100% an emotional sale, not a product sale. With high level, with marketing agencies, it's both. It's emotion and product. It's cool. I really need this. This is exactly what I'm looking for. This ties into my goals. This ties into everything that I want to avoid with marketing. It's perfect. And I need to know what I'm getting. It needs to also be a product-led sale. So I like a 2-call close. That's my favorite. Can you do a 1-call close? Sure. I will say there's one exception. If people are like, if you have a huge brand, everyone knows exactly what you do. You have an agency where people are like, I already know what you guys do. All my friends work with you guys. I'm ready to sign up. You can do a 1-call close. But the other reason I like a 2-call close is because when you're working with people that don't necessarily know, like, and trust you that much, or you just met them, it's very hard to meet someone and be like, hey, can I get your credit card? It's a lot easier if you spend more time with them. And it removes some of that friction and tension and urgency. It makes it more of an authentic and genuine sale. So that's my spiel. It's 2-call close. I'm going to give you guys a few more warnings. Number one, you guys need to be practicing every single. Well, actually, before we go on, if that made sense, drop a 1 in the chat. Drop a 1 in the chat. I can see the messages today. So drop a 1 in the chat if that made sense. 2-call close. That's the sales process from a high level.
So Joel, that link
Or
that did in the Zoom, the YouTube link, if you click on that, it'll take us to our YouTube streaming, and inside the stream,
okay.
right.
Did you disable the okay, I see. Because people were chatting and I was like,
yeah,
man,
they
I guess
were
no
they
one
were
understood
chatting
what I was
until
talking
I
about.
was able to start the streaming. So I was like, okay, cool. We can move the chat into the chat. If you look at the streaming on YouTube on the right side, there's a chat open. It's almost like
Okay, I see it.
it's like
I
it's
see
like
it. I
the
see it.
old AOL like chat rooms. It's so vintage. But either way, there's a lot of ones there. So you can see the comments and responses. Also, to those of you that are watching and you sat through day 1 and 2, you're probably brain fried of the amount of things that you have to essentially do to compete in the world of building a business today. I want to just like encourage you and inspire you and warn you at the same time. Towards end of this call and maybe even tomorrow, we'll go through and give you a chronological master plan that is going to be in order in what steps you should take for 2024. So as much as you're learning everything, Joel will be the first one to tell you, just focus on one pillar that you're focused on building. So maybe it's cold email and that's all you focus on. Maybe it's Instagram, IG, that's all, DMs, that's all you focus on. So as much as information we're providing, it's important that you don't get the squirrel brain of like, let me attack everything and do everything. You're not going to be able to do everything. Matter of fact, if you try, you probably will fail. So just focus on one pillar that matters, and probably end of tomorrow or maybe even later today, if we have time, we'll put together a chronological 2024 master plan calendar based on the things that we're teaching throughout the entire workshop. So that way, going into 2024, you have a game plan for January. There's nothing else you need to do but just that pillar. Maybe it's cold email for you. Maybe it's, creating content, whatever it is, like just focus on one thing is what I'm going to reiterate, because the amount of content that we're essentially putting out, and I'm only saying this because we had feedback yesterday. Well, people are brain fried, people are overwhelmed. And I'm like, yes, but we're building a massive business.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. You're going to be overwhelmed. If you guys are like, Joel, how do I make $1 million? And it's easy, and I don't have to stress, and I don't have to learn, and I don't have to grow. Like, you're lying to yourself. That doesn't exist. Trust me, if it did, I would be a billionaire if I could just press a button and get you guys $1 million each. I don't, Paulson, I'm definitely down to do the
Your plan for 2020.
the map. I'm absolutely down to do that and help people. And it's also really important for people to keep in mind, if things are overwhelming, that is a good thing. That means that you are pushing your mind. That means that you're expanding your mental capacity. It's supposed to be, if you're learning how to build $1 million business, it's going to be stressful. For example, I'll be honest, today I woke up, I had like 5 fires to deal with. Literally, first thing I look at my phone, I have like five fires to deal with. It's not supposed to be sexy. Everyone looks at like the Lambos, the lifestyle, the traveling the world, private jets. It's 99% not like that. So I'm going to double down, Paulson. We absolutely will do a map to make it simple for people. I'm absolutely down, and that will not get rid of the overwhelm. It's still going to be overwhelming, I promise you guys, and that's okay. I think one of the realities is that if you know what you're signing up for, it's a lot easier. If you have the right expectation, it's a lot easier. So for example, if you're like, if I said to you today, hey, this is going to be kind of crazy, Paulson, let's go on a run after this. Okay. What are you probably expecting? 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles?
Yeah, nothing crazy.
2 or
But
3.
I think I can
All right.
outrun, so maybe extra mile for me.
You probably can, because I had knee surgery like 6 months ago. So imagine if we're on the out there now. I'm like, hey, you're actually gonna have to run a whole marathon.
Yeah.
It's gonna feel extremely overwhelming. You're gonna feel underprepared. You're gonna feel thrown off. You're gonna feel conflicted. You're gonna feel like, I don't want to do this. You're gonna feel like, no, I'm out. Whereas if I said to you, hey, on this date, we're gonna run a marathon. Let's say January 15th. Is it gonna be hard? Is a marathon gonna be hard? Absolutely. But now you have the mental preparation to be like, I know what I'm signing up for, and I can prepare and I can lean in with more confidence. So I do want to state that. And that's not a bad thing, guys. It's good. If you guys are getting overwhelmed and your competition is not, that means that you guys are growing and they aren't. So lean in. Lean in. It's supposed to be hard. That makes it worth it. So, by the way, got my coffee. So with that in mind,
you showed up.
yeah. Let's dive in. So actually, a few more warnings. Sales. All of you guys are trying. You know that famous Allen Iverson quote, where it's like, "We talking about practice." You know that quote.
Well,
in
franchise
sales,
player, man.
yeah, in sales, you actually have to practice. Okay, there's no like magical person that's like so good at sales they don't need to practice. My company, 8-figure company, practices every single day, no excuses. 3 days a week are all about practicing the art of sales. So like we do role plays, we do call reviews, and we learn new things. On the other 2 days, we actually do product knowledge. So we make the sales team better at understanding what they're selling. If my team, who's doing 8 figures, is still practicing every day and you're not, that is not okay. Even if you're just starting out, you absolutely need to commit to, and actually even more so, you need to commit to practicing 1 hour a day. And here's the things that you should do as a beginner. Number 1, role play. Role play. If you don't have someone to practice with, find a group of people in this community, in your network, even other agency owners. You don't even have to be in the same team. Find a sales training group to be a part of. And it doesn't have to be a paid one. I'm saying like find 4 other people in the high level group that you resonate with or you've talked to in the past and say, hey, let's all practice every day and hold ourselves accountable. This is going to do a few things for you. It's going to make you feel like you're supported. You're going to get way more feedback very, very quickly. And it's actually going to give you a space to practice, because now you show up and you do role play every single day with other people. You're going to level up much faster. Once you have calls to review, like once you've taken some sales calls, then you want to actually start listening to your calls. both the good ones and the bad ones, because this is going to wire your brain to be like, this one worked. That's interesting. I should do more of that. Or this didn't work. This felt off. Let's not say that again. And then the last thing you want to do is, so role play, call review. And the last thing is just learning. Like, you guys could also just take the hour to watch this training about sales or watch any other training about sales. It's just taking time to learn and master the art of sales. I will say this. If I had to pick one skill to grow a business to grow my agency to start with, I would say sales. Everything else, if I have the ability to generate cash, I can hire really smart people. So for me, and one of my core philosophies, by the way, is you need product and sales. You need to have amazing client results, and you also need to be able to get clients in the first place. But most people tend to focus so much on client results, and they ignore sales. Why is that? It's because sales is intimidating. It forces you to face all of your fears. It forces you to have to lean in and get rejected. It's very overwhelming, and it's like you're consciously running into a wall every day.
Yeah.
You keep hitting your head. So it's really hard, but if you can master it, you'll never have to worry about money again, right? That's the beautiful side about it. So you guys need to commit to practicing every single day. That's warning number one. Warning number two, you guys absolutely need to have conviction in what you are doing. Like the 80-20 of all of this. I would throw away all the scripts, throw away all the presentations. If you guys don't believe that you are helping someone, you're not going to close. I would much rather take someone that sucks at the sales framework, sucks at the script presentation, but really believes, really from the bottom of their heart, that they have something valuable to provide. I'd rather take them than someone that is tactically really good at sales, but doesn't believe in the product. So you have to ask yourself, how do you get conviction? Well, there's two types of conviction. Number one, there's conviction in yourself, and number two, there's conviction in the product. And you need to increase both. How do you increase conviction in yourself? You have to be the type of person that says they're going to do something and does it consistently. Are there going to be times where you say you're going to do something and you don't? Absolutely. But you need to start becoming the person that you can consistently rely on. So your belief in yourself goes up. That is and there's way more things that you guys can do to increase your belief in yourself. But if I had to pick one thing to give you guys, is if you say you're going to practice every single day, and you're going to say, I'm going to commit to this Monday through Friday, 1 hour a day, and then you don't, then you're going to lose belief in yourself. It's not about, I'll give you guys a gym analogy. It's not about, and let's say we're trying to get strong, right? It's not about saying, I'm going to bench 315 pounds. It's about saying, I'm going to show up every single day and improve myself and try to get better. And I'm going to go to the gym and, get better at lifting every single day. I'm going to follow my nutrition and be the type of person that says they're going to do it and follows through. And over time, what's going to happen is I will become someone who can bench 315, right? Or who can bench whatever you guys want to bench. That's a lot of weight. Some people genetically might not be able to. So maybe that's a bad weight. But let's say let's just pick 185, just something that most people could lift if they really committed to. That comes from saying you're going to do something and doing it consistently over a long period of time. And then you have the belief in yourself that it's possible. It's not by just looking in the mirror and being like, I'm going to bench 185. It's about you trusting yourself. So if I had to pick one thing, I would say it's that. It's saying, okay, I'm the type of person that says they do hard things. Let's do hard things. I'm the type of person that says, hey, I'm going to face my fear today. Okay, we'll pick up the phone and call your prospects. It's about being the type of person that you want to be and following through on a consistent basis every day. That's how I believe you ultimately build conviction in yourself, if I had to boil it down to one thing. Now, how do you build conviction in the product? This one is a little trickier. I believe everyone should start off by either running a performance model, which is what we talked about, so that you can learn and get reps in, by doing free trials so that you can, again, learn, get better, consistently see yourself getting your clients results, or partner with someone that already knows how to get the clients really good results. Those are probably my favorite threes, where you do performance deals where it's low risk to the client and it allows you to get that experience. Number two, it's to run free trials where you're going to get experience over time, even though you're not getting paid, so that you can build that conviction and you're like, okay, this is a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be. And number three is to find someone and essentially acquire that confidence through someone else. And obviously that's probably the hardest one, is to find the right person. But the real question is, like, how do you get as much experience as fast as possible? You guys need to be asking yourself, like, how do I get conviction? A better question should be like, how do I get as much experience to have conviction as fast as possible? So you guys should be figuring out, okay, how do I get experience very, very fast? So for example, when I started my agency, and this is the last point I'll make, then we'll dive in. When I started my agency, I went to BNI. I went to this local networking group. Paulson, did you ever go to that?
I did. It was like the ones where you had to come in and provide a referral. Everybody talks about what kind of referrals they want, and it was like a big exchange. So it's a good way to start off, just to get your feet wet. But I don't know if that
So
would be my primary source.
no. Well, here's what I was going to say. So what I did is I went to that local networking group, and you're in front of like 30 businesses. And I pretty much said, hey, I'm just launching my agency here in Boulder, Colorado. If anyone wants us to do a free 30 days of marketing, come talk to me at the end and let's chat about what that would look like. Trying to really build my network, get my name out there. That day I closed 5 people on doing a 30-day trial. They're going to cover the ad spend. It's very similar to the performance model, right?
Yeah.
And what that allowed me to do is get experience quickly, which slowly but surely builds conviction over time. So there's no like, if there is a secret hack, it's to find the person that already has it and work with them, whether it's a white label agency, whether it's someone in the high level group, whether it's someone that you know.
Yeah, we have certified partners now, so you can get somebody that's certified that'll pretty much do your fulfillment for you. Or if they're sales oriented and they're certified, that means they probably know your product pretty well, so they know what they're selling. So definitely tap into our certified directory, just brand new, that we launched literally last month. Go ahead, Joel. Let's dive in.
Sweet. Yeah, and then I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview. Conviction, we talked about. Practice, we talked about. And lastly, it's going to be hard. Like you're learning people talk about high income skills, right? Like coding, high income skill, copywriting, high income skill, sales, high income skill. Why are these called high income skills? It's because it directly affects the bottom line of a business. It directly impacts revenue. For example, an account manager that's working with the clients, it definitely helps the business, but it's not, it's more indirectly. If the client has a great experience through an account manager, they stay longer, they pay more, but it's not directly getting money in the account. Sales is like the ultimate high income skill because you're directly impacting the bottom line, which means it is going to be hard, guys. I'll share one last story. I had a friend who he's a truck driver and he hates it. And I found an agency for him to go work at. And I told him, you're going to start off cold calling and then you can move on to closer. And it's going to be the hardest thing you ever do. He has 2 kids. He works really hard. And I told him it's going to be harder than you doing all that manual, like lifting, he does manual work as well. I told him this is going to push you more than anything else. But I also told him this: if you push through and get really good, you'll have the tool, the key to change your life forever. So it is worth it. All right, with that in mind, let's dive in. For those of you guys that have followed my content in the past, this might be recap. Sales is not going to change that much. Like sales is going to be the same as last year, as 3 years ago, as 4 years ago, as 10 years ago. It's very similar. It doesn't change too much. So the intro call, this is part one. There's 4 phases, okay? There's 4 phases to the call. First, I'm going to get them to commit to a conversation. I want them to get them to say, yeah, is this a good time to chat? Cool, we're having a conversation.
Do me a quick favor, Joel.
Zoom in.
Can you go to the top left corner? Yeah, there you go. Perfect. And by the way, if you are a high leveler, you'll get these assets for free. If you don't have a high level account, jump in so you can take advantage of all the resources we're providing. An example, what Joel is showing, just FYI, as just one of many things. But go ahead.
Yep. Okay. Do you guys wait, I stopped sharing.
And if you're
Paulson.
watching in the YouTube channel and want to jump into the Zoom, I dropped a link of the Zoom room. You can come in if you want to, and our administrators will let you in. And that's because we don't have our Facebook streaming that we normally have in the group due to Zoom being down right now with Facebook. We usually don't stream into the YouTube channel. And someone said you cannot hear my audio. Can you give me a 1 in the chat in the YouTube channel if you can hear my audio? Okay, Michael, thank you so much. Cool. Go ahead, Joel.
All right. All right, so we're going to go through the entire script. I'm going to break it down for you guys. And phase 1, I want to get them to commit to a conversation. So, hey, Paulson.
Yeah.
Hey, Paulson, this is Joel with Agency Lab. How's your weekend?
I literally thought you kind of cut out Zoom or something. You're like, wait, is internet there?
No, I'm just
You're doing the sales call. Okay, cool. You're like, hey, Paulson. I'm like,
oh yeah, dude. Yeah, this
did
is
we
the
lose
craziest
connection?
call, man.
It's one of those days.
So I know we're set for a chat right now. I don't know what you're talking about with the internet, but are we still good for about 10 to 15 minutes here?
Yeah, sounds good. I got about 9 minutes.
Okay. So I just got him to say yes, right? That's the first part. I just want him to say yes. We're good to have a conversation. That's phase 1. Paulson's like, no, we're not good for a chat right now. That means that we didn't accomplish phase 1. So phase 1 is just getting them to agree to having this conversation today. Now, there's 2 types of openers. There's opener for inbound, like the ads that we talked about, and then there's openers for outbound. So for example, remember yesterday, Marcus talked about calling people that reply on Instagram or calling people that reply on cold email. That's going to be this script. If someone already scheduled with you on your calendar, that's inbound. So if you already have the call literally scheduled on your calendar, that's inbound. If you're just calling them because they said they might be interested, they reply to an email, they reply to an Instagram DM, said, yeah, call me. That would be outbound. So let's go through inbound one more time. Hey, Paulson.
Yeah.
Hey, Paulson, this is Joel with Agency Lab. How's your day going?
It's pretty good. Can you remind me what this call is about?
Yeah, I know we're set for a chat right now. I see it on my calendar. Are we still good for about 10 to 15 minutes here?
Yeah. Can you tell me what it's about?
Sure. For context and clarity, my name is Joel with Agency Lab. What we do is we work with dentists, helping them either with consistency or helping them scale their practice. You had scheduled on one of our social media ads 2 days ago, and you booked the time for right now. Is now a good time for about a 10 to 15 minute chat?
Yeah, we can talk. I remember seeing something about the ads.
You're already throwing the objections. We'll get to the objections a little later.
I'm being the real
Paulson's
dentist
playing
here.
hard. That's fine. So I have all the responses as well.
Okay, awesome.
At the bottom, objections. So like, can we talk later?
Yeah, I'm
They
so
said they're busy.
desensitized. I'm so
They
desensitized
are
from
resistant.
them saying no to everything.
Paulson's like, no, we're not talking. Look, Dr. Paulson, just to be honest, my intent is not to bash you or come off too strong. I'm just trying to get a better understanding of your practice and see where you're at, what you're looking for. You know, so anyways, all these objections are down here. We can go over them later.
Someone said this man is triggering my PTSD from cold calling.
Yeah.
These
All right.
real.
Well, let's do outbound. Let's do outbound. So again, let's say that I sent you an Instagram DM.
Okay.
And you said, yeah, call me tomorrow. Or you said, yeah, I'm interested, but you never gave me a time to call you. Hey, Paulson.
Yeah.
Hey, Paulson, this is Joel with Agency Lab. I just saw that you replied to my Instagram message. We were just having a conversation back and forth about getting you new patients. How's your day going?
Yeah, it's good. I wasn't expecting a phone call. But can you tell me a little bit about what this is all about?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. For context and clarity, my name is Joel with Agency Lab, and what we do is we work with dentists, helping them either with consistency or helping them scale their practice. Is now time for about a 10 to 15-minute chat?
Yeah, sure. I've got a few minutes.
Cool. Perfect. Now, here's the thing. If they start being like, what is this about, this or that, I just want to reply a little bit and go back to, is now a good time to 10 to 15-minute chat? It's like, reply a little bit, is now a good time for 10 to 15-minute chat? I'm just going to loop back to that. If Paulson's like, for example.
Yeah. Also remember, guys and gals, I'm seeing some comments. This is not cold. This is warm in a sense because they've had some kind of interaction with you. If they message you on Instagram, replying a couple of different times, then it's a little, I wouldn't even call it warm. It's lukewarm. There's some kind of an interaction you can stand on.
Yeah, this is not cold call. We're not going to teach. Cold call is total different beast. This is in relation to what we talked about yesterday. Paid ads, cold email, cold DM. This one is for paid ads. I'll even mark it down. Paid ads. Oops. And this is going to be cold email reply. Man, why is my keyboard not working? Or Instagram DM reply. So this is if someone booked on paid ads. Someone booked on paid ads, this is how you open it. If someone replied to your cold email or Instagram DM, this is how you open it. Now, if they're like, can you just be like, well, I'm really busy right now.
Sure. Yeah, I'm really busy right now. Can you call me later?
Yeah, just really quick. I have like 2 to 3 questions. You guys are mainly focused on dental implants, right?
Yeah, dental implants is kind of our main thing.
And then I just jump right in. I'm just like, okay, awesome. And why don't you give me like a 30,000-foot view? Are you guys also doing Invisalign? Are you guys doing general dentistry? Or are you just looking to hone in on dental implants in 2024?
We like to get more implants more than anything else, to be honest.
So now I'm just hooking you back in, and I'm essentially ignoring, I'm taking the lead, and I'm essentially saying, I'm going to try to see if this is a BS objection or a real objection. That's really what I'm trying to do. So I'm like, look, I only have 2 to 3 questions. You guys are mainly focused on this, right? If they still say they're busy. So yeah, I mean, so let's go through that. So just really quick, I have like 2 to 3 questions. You guys are mainly focused on dental implants, right?
That's right. Yeah. Dental implants is kind of our main thing.
And then tell me, but I'm really busy. I can't talk right now.
Well, I'm really busy. Can you call me back later or just send me something?
So I can definitely call you back in like 10 to 15 minutes, but I just want to make sure you guys actually want to scale and add new dental implant patients. You're not just telling me, 10 to 15 minutes to get off of the phone. It's at least worth a conversation, right?
Yeah, I think that's worth our time. Yeah, appreciate you clarifying what the call is about.
Cool. So at that point, if they're like, no, I really don't have time, that's a real thing. People, that is possible. Like now it's a logistical objection. I've tied them down to saying it is worth a conversation. So I tied you down. I said, it is worth a conversation to you. And now I'm going to get you rescheduled.
Yeah.
If they're like, wait, what? Who are you? What is this from? So be like, what is this again?
Well, what is this again? Can you provide some clarity of what this is even about?
Yeah. So again, for context and clarity, my name is Joel with Agency Lab. What we do is we work with dentists, helping them either with consistency or helping them scale their practice. It's now a good time for, 10 to 15 minutes to get to know your practice a little bit better and see if we can help.
Gotcha.
Say no. Say
Maybe not now. Call me.
no. Say no. Wait. Who are you again?
Yeah. Wait. Who are you again? I don't remember this. I didn't sign up for anything.
Dr. Paulson, right? You're
Yeah.
a dentist.
Yes.
And you guys do dental implants, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, I mean, you're definitely in the right place. Are you guys in a position right now where you're looking for new patients?
We are. But can you help me understand what your company is about, or what is this call about? Because we get calls all the time.
And then I'll just loop back to this. Well, yeah, for context and clarity, again, I'm just looping them back. It's just an objection handle. If they're literally like, no, F off, at that point, you're done. You don't want to force it, but you want to like push back a little bit with like it's like one or two jabs. And then if they throw a right hook, I guess that's it. So,
So here's the thing that everybody should remember. Like the things that we taught in day 1 and 2 creates systems for inbound, right? Cold email, IG, walking into a BNI, all those things, running Facebook ads. All that does is create inbound requests, inbound interest. You really haven't arrived as an agency until you can sleep at night, like Warren Buffett says, and either revenue is coming in or inbound interest is coming in. Like you should be able to wake up in the morning, you look at your Slack channel, there should be leads in there that are qualified. That's the world you have to get into before you can actually scale. Now, when that happens, the script that Joel is sharing are basically hooks to help them requalify for a proper either 1 call close or a 2 call close, whether it's on Zoom or over the phone or in person, it doesn't matter of what medium you use. The idea is to have a system in place that you handle the inbound flow a certain way. You want all your sales guys and appointment setters to literally, and sales gals, there's some killer closers that are women too. So no need to, assume, but like, honestly, you need to figure out a way to flow the traffic the right way so you can then measure how you handle the traffic on sales. Keep going, Joel.
Yeah. So again, someone books a call with you through paid ads, open it up like this. Someone replies to your cold email or Instagram DM, open it up like this. And I'm just going to get you to say, yeah, we're having a call. So cool. We're good for a 10 to 15-minute chat. Awesome. Moving on to phase 2. Get them to open up and admit they have a problem. So I'm trying to reel you in slowly. I got to get you to open up and admit that you have a problem. Now, here's where this is going to get tricky for everyone. You want to have a real conversation. You can't be a robot. You can't be a robot. I'm not an AI. All right. Paulson's, I don't know about Paul. No, I'm just kidding. Paulson's not an AI. You guys need to connect on a human level. This is the hardest phase. This is the least scripted version, part of the process, and the most important, and it will require practice. I'm going to give you guys some tools, but you're going to have every single conversation is going to be different in this phase. So
how do you get them to open up and put their defensive walls down?
I want to get them to, here's the goal, guys. If I can help them admit that they have a problem and realize, oh shit, I have a problem, then all I have to do is position my solution or my product as the solution to that problem. If I can get you to open up and admit to yourself and realize, oh man, I really have a problem here, then all I have to do is position my product, my agency, high level as the solution to that problem. I can't tell you you have a problem. You need to realize you have a problem. Now, I want to give you guys one golden nugget here, big golden nugget. You see how the whole time when I was doing the script, I was a little I want to say, let's say submissive. I'm like, oh yeah, no worries, and kind of stuttering a little bit. I'm doing that on purpose. I actually don't want to come off aggressive. I want to disarm the prospect.
Yeah.
So sometimes people are taught to be in sales, be like, hey, Daniel. No, you want to be like, hey, Daniel, is this Daniel?
Yeah, it's because of saturation too. Like, think about the experience in the US, for example. 80% of the people don't talk on phones anymore. Like, we don't do phone conversations. Like that world is almost gone. In the US market, at least, most people text message. So when you do finally answer a phone call, if it's not friends or family, it's a very highly trained professional that is cold calling behalf of like an insurance company, some kind of rebate, the government. Like, it's literally very, very skilled, trained people. So they literally go through a script. So you kind of want to position yourself as someone who's not that skilled, like a cold caller, where you kind of give off that indication that it's a cold call. You want to make it seem like you're personally just calling them without, essentially giving away the clue that you're in a way professional as well. Go ahead, Joel.
Some of the comments on the YouTube are so funny. Someone said, Paulson really sounds like he didn't sign up for role playing today. He didn't.
These are facts. These are facts. So I'm just gonna be real. So totally monotone. Who are you again?
Yeah. So you guys, someone asked, can I just do this over VSL or AI? No. You guys need to. You got to admit to yourself, you're in a service-based business. You're human to human. You got to get on the phone and talk to people. You got to talk to people.
Yeah.
And look, I'll give you guys one piece of advice. If you're like, Joel, I will never be a salesperson, and if that's you, you're like, I hate it. For example, Isaac, yesterday ads, he hated sales. Like, he would have panic attacks, hardcore. Not that will go away, like that would remain. So for someone like him, it's better to just partner with someone that's very good at sales.
Yeah.
And also, if you're extremely sales, this is a huge golden nugget. If you're so good at sales and you are so bad at tech and you know who you are, you literally are like, what's high level?
Like me.
Like, find someone that could be that is a great time to either strategically partner or fully partner with someone. Because this business, like I said at the beginning, requires both product and sales. You need both product and sales. So if you're like, I can go both ways and I'm good at both, but I'm not great where it's like, I don't know high level in and out like crazy. Also with sales, I'm not the greatest salesperson of all time. I'm good at it. So you guys need to. My best skill is marketing. So I found people that were really good at the other things. Sergio, sales, Isaac, tech, right? So in product. So if you guys are so hardcore introverts, hate sales, don't want to talk to anyone, find someone that would be happy to do that, because those people exist. So I did want to throw that golden nugget out there. Okay, cool. So I get them to open up slowly, admit they have a problem. So here's the overview, 30,000-foot overview. That's the first thing I'm going to cover. I want to go over what they've already tried. I want to go over what their numbers are. I want to go over what services they have, where do they get most of their sales from, what's worked, what hasn't. And what I want to do is go deeper and deeper and deeper. And throughout, by going deeper, they're going to realize they have a problem. And we're going to actually go through this. So Dr. Paulson, these calls are typically short. What I find works best, if you're okay with it, is if you can provide me some clarity and context on your business, where you're at, what you're looking for to get you, from where you're at to where you want to go. That'd be really great. And if I believe that I can help you, I'll walk you through everything in detail and answer all of your questions. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that sounds good. How long would it take?
Like mostly these calls go about 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
Paulson, just for the role play, if you can play easy mode, and then we'll get into hard mode. We can get into hard mode later.
All right.
If not, we're not going to get through the script.
I got you.
All right. If there's a pause, like let's say that you're just like, what? Just be like, why don't we start with a 30,000 foot overview? Just share
Okay.
anything that comes to mind, and get me up to speed, and we'll go from there.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So why don't we share a little bit more about your practice, where you guys are at, where you're looking to go, really anything.
Yeah, we started the practice maybe like 2-3 years ago. We got a couple of dental assistants. I'm bringing on an associate partner. Right now, dental implants is the main thing, but we're already doing a lot of marketing in general, but a lot of it is not working. A lot of promises that is overwhelming in a sense. But help me understand, what exactly do you do that's different than all the other people?
So you guys said dental implants are the main thing. You guys are doing a lot of marketing in general, a lot of promises. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, I just feel like I wasted maybe, I don't know, a couple of $1,000s on a couple of these platforms and agencies, and I feel like I've gotten the same runaround. I get leads, but none of them actually show up, and kind of just feel like I don't want to waste any more time with marketing in general. But I know a lot of my other colleagues do really well with marketing, and I just feel like I haven't cracked the code.
Okay. What I'm trying to do here, guys, so pause, role play. I'm just trying to get Dr. Paulson to dump as much as possible. I just want him to dump. Like I already got some crazy insights. He's done marketing, so he is doing marketing. He's got money. He also hates agencies. That's very obvious. A lot of promises. You've gotten the same runaround. You've wasted a couple $1,000s on platforms and agencies. I get leads, but none of them show up. That was a huge golden nugget. I'm writing all this down. This is my ammo. This is my ammo for later. Okay. And then now I would have probably pushed 2 or 3, like 1 or 2 more times. So Dr. Paulson, you said you're getting leads, none of them show up. Could you break that down for me? What does that look like? So they're sending you leads, they're just not showing up.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's because, we don't have a lot of automations, or the like some of the Facebook ads don't work that well. And, my marketing guys are just, I don't know, and maybe they don't do a good job with targeting or whatever. Maybe my offer is not good, but either way, I feel like we get people interested, but we don't really push them to the final edge to being able to come into the practice for what we do.
Got it. Awesome. So I do that a few times where I'm like, tell me more about this, tell me more about that. And now I have a really good starting point. Like I have a lot of ammo to play with that I could just, these are all little, like, this is going to sound pretty like messed up. These are all little wounds that I can press down on.
Later.
Yeah, to make them feel the pain. So you do want them to realize I do have a problem. So these are all good starting points where he's like, okay, stop touching it, I have a problem.
Yeah.
So this is a really good starting point. This is where we start. There's a 30,000 foot overview. Now, again, I'm going to go off script here because it's a framework, right? So Dr. Paulson, you said that you wasted a couple of thousands of dollars on platforms and agencies, but you are doing a lot of marketing. Like, give me a breakdown. What marketing are you doing? And also, what have you guys tried in the past?
Sure. Yeah, so marketing wise, we do a lot of flyers in our communities. We have radio that is launched. We have,
Radio.
yeah, we do radio ads and it's been working pretty well for us. We also have, well, my nephew, he does all the boosting. And that you will literally hear that all the time. My nephew does all the platform boosting, which is they're just basically saying they're running Facebook ads, engagement, or whatever campaigns without a certain purpose. We have
You guys do like PPC or SEO or,
yeah,
anything like that?
we want to do an SEO, but we don't have a strong website. I don't think I want to redo that, but either way, I think SEO is something we need to do in the future. But right now, I don't know if we have a big budget for that.
So what's helping you guys get the most amount of patients in the door?
Referrals, friends, family, community knowing us, reputation kind of thing.
Got it. But you said so you did say you're doing a lot of marketing. So it sounds like it's mainly just on the radio.
Yeah, radio is
then
kind of
some
the big
boosting.
thing. Yeah, radio is a good thing. The boosting and that's really what we're doing right now.
I see. And why don't we break down some of the numbers that you're bringing in? So what percentage of your patients are coming through referrals? What percentage of your patients are coming through radio? What percentage of your patients are coming through the boosting?
Yeah. So I think we don't really track all of it in my mind well, but maybe like 20-30% comes from the radio, and 70% comes from referrals of existing patients or friends or family. Maybe another few percent here and there comes from all the flyers. We don't have a way to track the flyers, but we know people love them. These are like real objections I've gotten, so it's probably not a fair reply, but yeah, all our marketing works. That's what every dentist tells me in the past when I had my dentist.
Wait, that's not part of the role play.
No, that's not part of the role play. I'm just telling you.
I was like, wait, I'm confused. I was about to be like, Dr. Paulson, what are you talking about?
Sorry. But yeah.
So guys, all
70-30.
I'm trying to do here is what I'm trying to do here, guys, is go off of the initial things he told me to now dig deep on what they've tried, what their numbers are, which services they prefer, where do they get most of their sales from, what's worked, what hasn't. And then over time, I'll start going deeper. So Dr. Paulson, like you mentioned that you guys all, used a bunch of other agencies. Tell me about that. Why do you think it didn't work?
Well, I think we spent a lot of money in general, maybe about $4,000 or $5,000 every single month on marketing with a couple of these agencies. But there wasn't like a good result that came out of it. We got a few patients here and there from like Facebook ads and Google ads, but we haven't done those in a while because my nephew just keeps boosting Facebook, and that seemed to create a lot of likes and comments in our pages. So yeah, in the past,
you guys spent $4,000 to $5,000 and you only got a few patients.
Yeah, and I think that's because.
By the way, guys, pause. I did that on purpose. I'm trying to make him feel like, oh shit, I spent $4,000 to $5,000. I didn't get patients. Let's dig deeper. But now I'm starting to probe. So again, first I do a 30,000-foot overview. Then I start to go specifically what they've tried, what their numbers are, which services they prefer, where do they get most of their sales from, what's worked, what hasn't. And then once I have a very clear understanding, again, it's almost like you're the doctor. Once you have a very good understanding of the patient, you know everything that you need to know to diagnose them and to give them the right medication, then we could start to dive deep. So now what I do is I'm going to start to go deep on these specific issues. So for example, like I said, Dr. Paulson, it sounds like you guys spent $4,000 to $5,000 a month, which by the way, that's kind of crazy. that you guys didn't really see much. And, you know, if you were to put your finger on two things as to why it failed, what would those two things be?
Well, I think I don't think the marketing guys really understood what we stand for. You know, we're a luxury practice, and we want to go after, you know, the corporate clients in the community. We don't want just any random person that wants to come in for a little cleaning. We want to go after affluent patients and families, and that's kind of our focus. And I think they just had a hard
They
time.
didn't really understand you.
Correct. And I think they had a hard time targeting and finding those people through their marketing efforts. That's really what it comes down to.
And it sounds like they weren't tracking anything, right? Because you said you weren't even sure how many patients you got, right?
Well, they told me, you know, they brought in like 60, 70 leads every single month, but in reality, most of those people didn't walk in through my front door.
Hmm. That must be kind of frustrating. That's crazy. So 60, you guys 60 to 70 leads, and you don't even know exactly how many showed up.
Yeah, and it's been a while. It's been a couple of months since we kind of turned those off. So
Hmm.
I can go back and kind of figure out those numbers exactly if you need those. But that's yeah, I don't feel like full effort was harvested.
And they didn't even give you like a CRM or, you know, software to track all this?
They had something, but to me it was just a place to just find the contact information. I don't think it was like I don't know, automation kind of software. It was more like something that just houses information. So we couldn't do anything with it except just log in and find the information there. That's kind of what I
Wow. So I mean, you couldn't even track the ROI, right?
no, I don't think there was a way to track any of that.
Okay, so pause. You see how I'm making him realize, like, oh, wow, I did it wrong. All these things are wrong. No CRM, no tracking, no leads that show up, bad targeting. Then all I have to do is say, I'm the agency that can help you with these things, especially with I only get paid when they show up. I am incentivized to make sure the targeting is on point. I also make sure to go on Justice Map, like we talked about earlier, on day one and only target the affluent areas. Now my pitch, Dr. Paulson, is 100% aligned with the problems that he had that prevented him from getting the result he wanted. Guys, is this clicking? This is the hardest part. Phase two is the least scripted. It's a conversation. This is chess now, not checkers. The big framework is, again, start off with a 30,000-foot overview, then get clear on what they've tried, what their numbers are through a conversation. Figure out their services. Where do they get the most of their sales from? What's worked? What hasn't? And then I start to go deeper. Oh, wow. How do you got 60 to 70 leads and you don't even know if you got an ROI? That's crazy. He's like, oh shit, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
This is not good. And then so I'm just digging deeper, and they didn't even give you a CRM to track. So how do you know if you even got the results? Well, I don't know. It's like, okay, clearly that wasn't working. So whatever I present has the potential to work.
Absolutely. That makes sense. So one of the things that I'll tell everybody here is you don't need sales scripts. Like you don't need scripting that you can just read off of. Like obviously, like Joel said, don't be robotic. But what you do want to do is memorize a couple of milestones, memorize maybe phases of a framework. And actually, matter of fact, from Sergio and Joel back in the day, I kind of developed my own bridge in my mind of 4 different phases I push all my conversations through. And I share that in our 5-day challenge. I share that at our masterminds, our conferences, our courses, everything, which really is essentially the same thing in a macro way, which is story, numbers, conditions, and decisions. That's the chronological order I go through. Story means I want to get a rapport created between me and that prospect. Numbers means I want to figure out what kind of numbers they're dealing with. So I go from volume-oriented questioning to transitioning them into revenue-oriented questioning. The third thing is conditions. I want to make sure there's a good market product fit. Just because they say yes to the money and transaction doesn't mean your product and services are actually fit for them. Then the fourth thing is decisions. You want to ask them, how do you like to be closed, and figure out what is the comfort level for them to start the relationship. What Joel is teaching you here is the details of what happens in those phases. Every one of us sales guys have those phases memorized in our mind. We don't follow scripts, just FYI.
Yeah, the way that I would look at it, guys, is following frameworks. Get them to commit to the conversation, get them to be like, yeah, we can talk today. Then get them to open up and tell you about their practice, their business, their problems. That's what we're doing. It's like, okay. And then Dr. Paulson's like, oh shit, I just realized I didn't track anything. The leads didn't show up. They were just, my nephew kept boosting ads, whatever the heck that means.
Yeah.
And then eventually what's going to happen is they're going to feel like, I understand. That's my problem. So, for example, if the lead quality sucks, you could be like, so Dr. Paulson, what offer were you guys running on the ad?
Yeah. So what we were doing was, if I can remember, 20% off of teeth cleaning.
Okay. But didn't you guys want to focus on dental implants?
Yeah. So with dental implants, we didn't really do any discounts because we wanted to attract like an affluent customer base. We didn't really run a discount because of that. And, the marketing guys, they told me they don't need to do a discount. They'll kind of handle it. And majority of the leads that came in were for the dental cleaning and whitening, not the implants. These are like real scenarios that I've seen. Keep going.
Yeah, the nephew thing is hilarious, by the way. I got it. That's so funny.
There's a lot of nephews out there killing agency game.
Okay, so I mean that's interesting. So you're telling me that they did ads for teeth cleaning, but you wanted dental implant patients?
Yeah, they promised me they'll bring in affluent dental implant patients. They told me
But then they did the teeth cleaning.
that's what majority of the leads became. I don't think that was the intention, but I think they had the easiest time marketing dental cleaning and whitening.
Yeah.
Where implants, I think they had a hard time marketing for.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so again, I'm making them realize like, okay, there's a problem here. Like, okay, why the heck would they advertise teeth cleaning when I wanted dental implants, which is what he told me at the beginning because I took the notes.
Yeah.
Where was it?
And
Dental implants, main thing.
And just pause for a second. These are real scenarios that you will come across business owners. They want their highest ticket to be sold the most. Whatever their biggest thing is, that's what they want more eyes on. They don't care about bringing in, low tickets of any kind and just climbing them into upselling. Like that's usually not their first instinct because they're not marketing people, right? They're not salespeople. They're about their service. Keep going, Joel. What is
Yeah, and I think that the other thing that this is a huge golden nugget as well that I forgot to share in my warnings before we dove in. That's really important. If you guys are brand new, you should actually go and find some business in your niche that you could take out to lunch and get to know everything about the business. You guys should actually spend a day or two just doing market research, understanding the lingo, because if a dentist told me all on four or full arch restoration, Paulson and I would know what that means. But most of you guys would be like, what is an all on four? So if you can actually use these words, if I could be like, well, what kind of dental implants? Are you guys looking for single dental implants, or you want to do all on four procedures, full arch restorations, they're going to be like, okay, this guy gets it. He's in our space. He knows the lingo. Immediate authority bump. Like you're already going to be seen as someone that knows their shit. So highly recommend that. What I did is I found a chiropractor in Boulder and I invited them out one night for pizza. And we spent like 3 hours and I said, tell me everything there is to know about chiropractic, everything. The sales process, the lingo, the problems in the market, in the industry. What do chiropractors hate? What do chiropractors love? What kind of patients do they want? How do they make their money? Do they like insurance? When do they get paid by insurance? All that. Cool. Then, let's see, where are we at? Let's do a few more questions. So, okay, so you're telling me that they ran teeth cleaning ads for dental implant patients, and it sounds like they weren't even doing dental implant marketing, which is honestly frustrating. Like that's not good, you know, for such a big investment. That being said, when the leads came in, what was that process like? Were they calling them? Were you guys calling them? What systems did you guys have in place to make sure that they would show up?
Yeah, they basically set up I guess like a portal or a login where we had to log in and see the leads that came in, and then we couldn't like dial from that portal. So we basically took the numbers and dialed with our regular phones to kind of call them in and schedule, but most of the leads did not even know anything about our practice. So it was kind of like they were throwing leads at us in a portal and didn't have like a way to track or communicate or anything like that. It was just us having to manually dial with our regular phones back to the leads, which I think also was kind of an issue. Because I couldn't tell whether my front desk was actually calling or not, because I'm busy in the back taking care of patients. So I'm just kind of hoping that they did.
Got it. Cool. So now Dr. Paulson has started to open up. His demeanor changed from I only have 9 minutes to, you know, he's a little more calm. He's like, yeah, it just really didn't work. So now, phase 3, I want to get them to buy into me as the solution to their problem. Here's how this is going to work. First, I'm going to summarize everything because I want them to feel like I really listened. I want them to feel like I empathize with them. And then we're going to drop our offer in our pitch. And here's where you're going to have to modify it on the fly a little bit and be a ninja and touch on their pain points. This is where you're going to have to be like, here's the ways that we can help you based on exactly what you told me. So again, first thing, I'm going to repeat everything back to them from a high level. So Dr. Paulson, I think I got enough here. Just to summarize, it sounds to me that you guys have worked with a bunch of other agencies, but they really, you know, dropped the ball on some core things. Like they weren't even doing dental implant marketing, which is crazy, by the way. They were doing teeth cleaning marketing and telling you guys you were getting dental implants. And then when the leads came in, you guys had no way to see if you're getting an ROI, if they're showing up. And then even worse, like they were making you guys do all the work. And it sounds like they weren't even supporting your front desk staff. Like you were back with patients how you should be as the doctor, and you were paying this agency, but they're kind of leaving you out in the desert on your own. And it also sounds like you guys really want to hone in on dental implants going into 2024. That's where you want to maximize things, but you are also worried about making sure that if you're going to invest in marketing, that the patients actually show up. And it also sounds like you guys really love referrals. You want to grow that. So if there's a way to even help grow that avenue, since that's where you guys mainly get your patients from, like that would be a great add-on. And is there anything else I'm missing or anything else you'd like to share? And I do appreciate you sharing everything with me.
Yeah. So
by the way, this line is really important. This is where they might tell you the 1 or 2 things that they didn't share.
Yeah. Yeah. So Joel, everything you're telling me is what a lot of these agencies once told me as well. you seem like a nice guy, and I've heard something similar in the past. So to be honest with you, I'm kind of, traumatized from things like this. But what makes you different than the other agencies? Like, is there a guarantee? Is there a risk that you will take on as well as me? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah. Paulson, for the sake of script, let's play easy mode, and then we'll do objections at the end.
Okay,
If that's okay.
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah,
remember.
because
I gotta remember.
just
My
so we
bad, my
can get
bad.
through it. Just so we can get through it, and then we'll do
Yeah.
objections.
I'll do
I
easy
have
mode.
all of these.
Tell me more, Joel.
It's like, yeah, because we have them all here.
Okay.
And if they're like, all right, hold on one second. I mean, I also can go into it, but at that point, I'd probably play more like, Dr. Paulson, I haven't shared much yet of how we can help, how we can't help. I'm first trying to just get a very clear understanding of where
Sure.
you're at and
Okay.
where you're looking to grow and really understand your practice. And I'm more than happy to show you everything in detail of how we're different, the pricing, all the information that you need to know
Okay.
to make an informed decision. But first, I really just wanted to get to know you just like you do with your patients before you start doing an entire dental procedure. I just want to see if we might be able to help.
Yep.
And then I'd shut up.
Okay.
And then you'd be like, what would you say to that? I mean, this is if
Probably
we want to
like,
get
well,
into objections now.
yeah, probably like, well, how much is it?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I'm more than happy to go over all the pricing if that's something that you want to cover. But again, first, I'm just trying to get a clear sense of where you're at and what you're looking for and what you guys need, right? Because there's a lot of things that we could do for you. But I also don't want to promise something that doesn't align with what you guys ultimately need to grow your practice. And again, I'm more than happy to show you everything, but first just want to make sure that I get a full understanding of where you guys are at. So, is there anything else that you'd like to share with me? Anything missing from what we went over? And again,
Not,
see, now I'm just pushing it back on Paulson.
yeah.
So I answer it quickly, I kind of address it, and I'm just like, okay, so is there anything else I'm missing or anything else you'd like to share? And again, I do appreciate you sharing. It really does help.
I don't really think there is much. I mean, is there anything you're looking for, Joel, that I should say?
No, that could be fine. I will
Okay.
say this though, if at this point they're resistant to you, it's very hard to get the sale. At this point, if they're playing hardball at this stage of that, this is actually a really good point. If they're playing hardball at this stage of the script, like those questions that Paulson just threw would appear more up here
In the beginning.
towards like phase 2, the start of phase 2, where you're like, what's the price? I've already been burned in the past by other agencies. Like, but if you're already opening up to me and sharing, and we're
Yeah.
kind of laughing about your nephew boosting posts, you're probably gonna follow my lead at that stage. So keep that in mind. If you're getting that kind of tension that deep, you lost the sale. Like the chance of you getting that sale is very hard. Also keep in mind, the sale is won actually on this call. It's not won on the second call. Most people think the 80-20 is the demo presentation. The 80-20 is you connecting with them and them feeling like you are the solution to their problems, to their pain. If they feel like you are the solution to their pain and to their problems, they will buy from you. Obviously, as long as everything checks off, obviously, but that's a given. That being said, the battle, the 80-20 is won here. And that objection of like, well, what's the price? Again, I'd probably be like, more than happy. First, I want to get a sense of where you guys are at, what you're looking for, because I don't want to give you guys a recommendation for all the things that we could do, and then it doesn't really align with what you guys are looking for. With that in mind, I'd love to get a little bit more detail on where you guys are at. So you mentioned that you're looking to focus on dental implants in 2024. Is that where you guys are mainly focused in 2023? Yeah. Tell me about that. So, and then I just go back to the questions. So I'd answer it, go back to the questions. And then if you're like, I've already been burned in the past, all that stuff. I'm like, I hear you. That other agency you were telling me about sounds crazy, you know, $4,000 to $5,000 and then running teeth cleaning ads. I'll tell you right now, you know, we're not going to do that. But with that in mind, I'd love to just get to know a little bit more about your practice and where you guys are focusing so that I can confidently tell you if we can help. Because right now, I don't even want to say that until I have a little bit more clarity. With that in mind, you know, you mentioned that the leads you were getting weren't showing up. What was that process like when you guys generated a lead? So I'm just going back to the script, but that's probably going to happen in phase 2, not in phase 3.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, phase 3. So you're like, nope, there's nothing else for me to share. No worries. Cool. So from the sounds of it, Dr. Paulson, we can definitely help you. What I'm going to do is walk you through everything. Feel free to interrupt me at any time, and I do want to make sure I can answer every question. So at this point, guys, this you're going to have to modify. This is just a templated version. This will be unique to you and your agency. This is something that you're going to have to rewrite, unfortunately. Now, you need to come up with 3 reasons why your offer is amazing and customize it to their answer. So, and by the way, you can also modify this on the fly a little bit. So everything we do is exclusive to you and customized. And it actually starts off with a social media platform, and we actually mainly focus on TikTok ads. So I know you mentioned you've only tried Facebook and you wanted to try something new in 2024. And we're one of the first agencies to crack the code on TikTok ads for dentists. And I just want to be clear, you don't even need the app. And I'll walk you through why we believe TikTok is one of the most powerful platforms to get affluent patients that are actually looking for dental implants in 2024. So you see how I threw in that word affluent. I'm trying to plant seeds that what I got is what he wants. So number 1, it was the most visited domain in 2021. There's actually more traffic on TikTok than Google, which is crazy. So if you're like, Joel, there's no people wanting implants on TikTok, then you're also saying that they're not on Google. And what makes a social media platform viable is access to the platform, meaning we can target income on TikTok, whereas on Facebook you cannot. And you can say whatever you want. Be like, meaning we can actually find the specific zip codes in your area so that we're only placing the ad in front of people who have money. Now, not saying that some people that don't have money won't opt in, but we're targeting places where it's mainly people with wealth. And number 3, there was a report that just came out recently that 1 out of 4 millennials, again, I would have to tweak this because if I'm doing dental implants, millennials, it's probably the older demographic. So, you know, there was a report that just came out recently that 1 out of 4 boomers and even older folks are using TikTok as a search engine, not even Google. Does that make sense? Then you'll be like, yeah, it all makes sense. Cool. And then I throw one final rock at their main problem, even harder. And again, this is a template. You guys will have to modify this for your offer. So you remember how you mentioned you guys were getting the leads and you got like 60 to 70 leads, but none of them showed up. And you were just dealing with tire kickers and you were like, I just want affluent leads that show up.
Yes, I remember that.
Okay, cool. So what's really amazing about our model is that we only get paid when someone actually prepays for their appointment. So we're actually going to get people that have money because they're prepaying for their appointment before they ever come in. And we've also noticed that that increases the show-up rate to 95% on average for our clients. So I'm essentially, I'm doing it on the fly. I'm throwing one final rock at their problem based on what they told me. So here's how it works. And we're just going to break down overview of how ads work. You don't have to like overcomplicate this. And again, you could.
Yeah. So real quick, let's pause for 1 second. So a couple of observations here, right? And very similar to Sergio, I've done probably over 8 years of sales in my career, building 3 agencies. And I can tell you sales, more than the scripting, the framework, and anything and everything. It's about transferring the energy that you have about your offer to the prospect. So that's the first thing. Your ability as a salesman to transfer the energy, the right energy to the prospect. The second skill that's going to really elevate everyone here on sales is your ability to be discernful of the prospect's energy. Okay. If you have the right skill set and enough practice, you'll be able to pick up small different things, how they will tell you and show you and demonstrate their energy towards your industry, your type of business, your offer. So over time, Joel says this in a lot of his old programs. He'll tell you there's a popcorn thing that happens, and popcorn doesn't pop early in the game. Eventually, it'll all pop in like one Saturday, and it's like 3 customers that you signed up in 1 week, and you're like, I don't know how that happened, but it's because there's a sales cycle. There's a trust that you're building with touch points. All to tell you that energy transfer is what matters more than anything else. And that takes repetition. That takes time. That takes, multiple things. The part about phase 3 that Joel is sharing with you, that's going to make this whole thing so much easier for you, is the strength of the offer of this business model that Joel's sharing, which is the pay-per-show business model. You as the provider is taking all the risk except for the ad spend, right? Because that offer is so strong, your sales skills does not have to be elite. Your offer
Now,
is so
keep in
good.
mind, what's crazy though? If you're very good at following phase 2 and digging deep and connecting with them and getting to know them, they trust you. Then even if you're like, they will forget. I promise you, if you won them over on phase 2, they will not care if it's retainer or paper show, which is interesting. Like, people will stop asking about all that stuff. They only ask about guarantees, price. What makes you guys different if they don't trust you? The trust, and here's the takeaway. The trust comes from you knowing them better than they know themselves, and you understanding their problems better than they do. It's kind of like I tore my ACL last year, in May, and I'm not an orthopedic surgeon. So when I walk into I get the x-rays, or not the x-rays, the MRI, the surgeon is looking at it with me. I'm listening very carefully at everything he's saying, and I trust every word that's coming out of his mouth. Why? It's because he understands my problem, my torn ACL, better than I do. So we're giving you guys a lot of golden nuggets today, because I feel like, normally I just give you guys a script. We don't go through it, but we're really dissecting this, which I really like. So phase 3, at this point, again, you should have won them over. Like if at phase 3 they're resistant, you kind of failed.
Yeah. And that also means you need to not present the offer. Like, don't present.
Correct. This is not.
There's a timing to present the offer of what you do. Don't enter into phase 3 if you have not won the know, like, and trust model of like creating that relationship.
Yeah. So if Paulson's like, hey, what do you guys offer? Yeah. So again, we can do a lot of different things for you guys based on exactly what you need. And everything we do is customized for the practice. So a big part of why I'm wanting to get to know you guys and ask you guys all these questions is just so that I can come up with exactly the right system that would align with your goals and what you guys are looking for. Yeah. That being said, you guys mentioned that, and I would just go back to asking a question. So I address it. This is how I handle objections. You address it, you answer it, and then you go back to a question.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you guys mentioned that you don't want to do Invisalign. Is it just because you're mainly focused on dental implants? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Now I've got them back in. I don't want to let Paulson take the lead here.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to be an asshole. So it's like, I'm very submissive about it. I'm like, yeah, no, totally hear you on that. You want to get the pricing, makes sense. You know, that's really important, and I promise you we will go over that. But first, I need to get to know a little bit more about your practice, where you're at, what you're looking for, so that I can give you a pricing based on exactly what you're looking for. That being said, you mentioned you worked with another agency and they weren't getting leads to show up. If I had the power to wave a magic wand and solve all of those agencies' problems, what would you want? You know, and now I'm back in him to now I'm leading. So I'm still letting him push back a little bit, but I'm leading the conversation. Okay, so interestingly enough, I don't even get into the offer, the guarantee, the paper show in this. I'm really just trying to keep it very high level. I'm trying to keep it very easy to consume. I don't want to confuse Paulson right now. He's in an emotional state. He knows he has a problem. I don't want to confuse him with nitty gritty. And when do I get paid? Wait, do I get paid after? How does that work? And then I don't want to confuse him. I want to get to a point where I can show that on the demo. But I want to essentially get Paulson to the point where he's like, I want this. So let's just go over the details. But I'm in. I want to get him to, this sounds awesome, but let's go over the details. What's interesting is most people go over the details thinking that that's what's going to get people to buy in. What's going to get people to buy in is that they feel like you know their problems better than they do, and therefore can prescribe a solution in a way that they feel confident in.
Yeah.
So, and also don't be afraid to spend a lot of time on this call. If you guys can crush an hour-long call with a dentist for an intro call, that's gold. That's amazing. If you guys can last an hour with a doctor or with anyone, a roofer, like you're gonna get it. So, all right, phase 3, you guys can fill this in. I pretty much just break down how the process looks. Like we create your campaigns and video ads, your media buyer team takes care of all that stuff. This isn't stuff that worked well and we're putting in a new box. It isn't something that worked 2 years ago and we're just putting a fresh face to it. What we're trying to accomplish with our system is to...
This is where you're verifying if there's a good product market fit. Okay, you're making sure the solution you provide meets the need that they have that you've articulated well with them, and help them understand that you can actually solve the relevant problems at this time frame of their business. Okay, keep going, Joel.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, just for the sake of time, you guys will have access to this. You will have to modify this for your offer, but like basically you go over ads, targeting, high level. It's just like explaining that simply so they're not confused. So for example, I guess I'll go through some of it. The way that it looks is we create your campaigns and video ads. Our media buyer and our team will take care of all that stuff. Now, I want to be clear. This isn't stuff that worked well and we're putting it in a new box. It isn't something that worked 2 years ago and we're just putting a fresh face to it. It's working right now. And what's really cool, I'm going to go off script a little bit to align with what Paulson said earlier. And what's really cool is we're actually make videos specifically targeted to that affluent demographic. And we're going to set up all the ads in a way that really speak to people with money. So what we're trying to accomplish with our system is build trust and get intent. There's no branding in the video or mentioning anything else. We're speaking directly to that person. It's more of a compassionate and empathetic message, which really aligns with people looking specifically for dental implants. Again, I want to make sure that we focus our marketing 100% on dental implants, and I will not do any teeth cleaning for you, Dr. Paulson, I promise. Does that make sense?
That does.
So I'm just hitting back everything he told me. I don't want to do teeth cleaning. I want dental implants. I want affluent people. I want to get them to show up. And, you know, what we're trying to do is build some trust and get some interest. And once we have that, we're gathering data. We're actually going to figure out what credit score they have, how serious they are about dental implants, what other solutions they've considered, how much money they are looking to invest, what time frame, And we can even customize this and add more questions so that you are only talking to the highest quality leads in your area. And we're also going to obviously get their personal data, like their phone number and email. And I know you mentioned earlier, this agency was just sending you the email and phone number, but we're actually going to give you a whole breakdown on that patient profile so that you guys can even determine whether or not you can help them and get them financed for a $30,000 procedure before they even show up. So we're not going to waste any time with bad leads. Any questions about that?
No, that sounds great.
And that covers the first third, marketing and gathering the data. The second third is we have to leverage that data into conversations. And this is how it looks. Remember how you said you didn't have a CRM and any automations? Well, all of that data that we get is going to be perfectly placed into a CRM that we use called High Level, or whatever you want to rebrand it as.
Whatever your white label
And,
name is.
Yeah, exactly. That we set up for you. And you're also going to have access to a mobile version of this so that you can take it with you and take it outside of your practice. I know you're super busy. That way you can literally log in and see your ROI at any time. So remember you told me that your agency that you're working with, you had no idea. Well, we're going to actually be able to track not only how many leads you got, but how many were qualified, how many showed up, how many prepaid for their appointment, and the entire ROI throughout our whole journey together. And again, you could log in and check this at any time. It's up to date, live at all times. Any questions about that?
No, that sounds fantastic. And will my team members be able to log in and see that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to work with your team directly and make sure that they have access to everything. And one of the other things that you mentioned, I'm glad you actually brought this up. This is one of the really nice things about working with us. It's not like the core thing, but we actually train your entire staff as well. So if you'd like, we can even meet with your staff and train them on this entire process to make it as easy as humanly possible for you. Which leaves us with the final part, the booking, the appointment, and the sale. And at this point, you have to change this. So breaking script, at this point, you have to change this based on if you're calling them or if they're calling the leads. So let's say that we're calling the leads, like Faisal showed on day one. So which leads us with the final part, the booking of the appointment and the sale. Now, our team is going to look at all the data from the leads, and we're going to take anyone who's qualified for financing for dental implants, who says they are serious about signing up right now, and they have the money to invest. And we're actually going to call them on your behalf and get them to prepay for an appointment. And what we've noticed is that this increases the show-up rate to up to 95%. Whereas before we were doing this, we were at about a 40 to 50% show-up rate. So I know you mentioned you've had bad experiences with leads that you generate, but then never show up. Well, this will solve that problem, and we'll take that 100% off of your plate. So all you have to do is really show up and give them an amazing experience. So I know that was a lot. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And at this point, so pause script. Do you guys see how I've taken all the things that Paulson told me and kind of sprinkled them into my pitch? And now Paulson's going to be like, yeah, this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And by the way, this was all improvised. This is all based on what you told me at the beginning. I didn't plan for this. This was all just what you told me. Affluent. I said that word like 5 times. I could have said luxury. Like that could have been cool.
Yeah. So just to add on to what Joel's saying here. So, I've trained in some of the most top sales systems and programs in my career. And I can tell you the number one thing in being a really good closer or a salesperson is understanding your sales leadership skills, right? And the first pillar of good sales leadership skills is your listening skills. Your listening skills will allow you to transition the prospect in the right path. So like, for example, you need to understand how to listen properly and what's important to them in the right energy in how they're giving you objections. And the way you do that is by understanding how they consume information, right? So I'm going to go on a little soapbox here, so bear with me. So in the world of content communication, in sales, in how you listen to things, coach, all that, there are three different types of mediums, which is visual learners, auditory learners, and kinesthetic learners, right? Your visual learners are people that wants to see the picture, right? So when you present your offer or when you present things about your business, you want to articulate it in the macro world and show them, hey, you know what? The best picture I can tell you in how you would work with me in 2024 is XYZ. Do you see what I'm telling you? Like, does this make sense? You see how I'm using the word see, look, right? When you think about auditory learners and you're talking to a prospect that has auditory skills, or that's how they consume information, you want to say things like, hey, here's what I would like for you to listen to the most importantly. Here's what I've heard, right? If there's anything, here are my, here's the way, like you guys get it. You get my point on how to be conscious of the mediums that you're using and how you're articulating. The third one is kinesthetic, which is feel, right? Here's how I feel about how we can work together. Here's what I want to touch on when it comes to this offer. Here, and these are pretty advanced level sales skills that I'm telling you. I don't want to overwhelm you, but honestly, if you can get to a point of emotional intelligence, if you can get to and understand how to move towards that, and if you can also understand the energy of the prospect and your energy as well, and then you really sprinkle in the VAK, which is what I call it, the visual, auditory, kinesthetic, you can actually transition them through in a very clean way of truly, truly understanding what they get out of working with you. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Hopefully I didn't overwhelm too many people with that. But these are skills that you develop over time. You're not going to practice any of this in January. Over the next 90 days, these are things you develop in how, like, just like how Joel said, hey, here's the affluent piece. I would figure out whether they played basketball or not. If they played basketball as one of their fun things to do, there's a very good chance that they're a kinesthetic person, right? If you're talking to PT clinics, 90% of people that own PT clinics are kinesthetic people. If you're talking to,
This is really like next level.
it is. If you're talking to like
Yeah.
med spa folks that are aesthetic, they're brand oriented, they're visual people. A cosmetic dentist is more visual than an implant dentist who's more analytical. So you need to really understand the environment of sales and who you're talking to. But anyways, let me get off my soapbox. Joel, back to you, back to you, back to you.
No, that's really good. I think like that's really good. I think understanding the type of person you're dealing with, if they're more logical, more emotional, but that's like that's definitely that's level 2,
These are things you
once
will
you've mastered.
graduate into. These are not things that happen
Correct.
overnight. Like guys like me and Sergio develop these skills to have this conversation in 3 minutes over like 8 years, almost like a decade of business practice, just FYI. No need to
Exactly.
no need to get there tomorrow, but these are things that you need to practice to get there. Empathy. There's so many things I can go into, but anyways, let's go
Yeah,
through final
I think
touches
if you
here.
guys practice this every day, just like literally just like I did with Paulson, where one of you guys pretends to be the dentist, and I would again, to get through it, I would play easy mode first. Just get through it, then start to be like, what's the price? I hear you, Dr. Paulson. I promise you, we will go over all of those details. First, I just want to get a really good sense of where you guys are at, blah, 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 blah. First practice easy mode, get through the script, and do that every day until you're like, okay, I get this. I don't have to think about what phase I'm in. I just know what phase I'm in. Okay, so, all right, let's see here. Cool. So at this point, let's say you ask a lot of questions, I'm going to start answering them. So if you're, well, how does this work? I'll answer them. This is where you need to know your stuff a little bit. Well, how does the CRM work? You answer it. How does this work? You answer it. I wouldn't go into so much product. Keep it concise, like 1 to 2 sentence answer, not like, or maybe even a few sentences. You just don't want to go into a 15-minute rant about high level.
Yeah,
How does a CRM work?
Let me pause you for a quick second. Those of you that give me a 1 in the chat if you're selling SaaS. Give me a 2 in the chat if you're doing a hybrid like SaaS agency kind of model. Okay.
This is definitely
Cool.
hybrid.
Yeah. Now, if you have any inclination to sell features, just stop, because you shouldn't be selling features. You should be selling the result of what you can do for the customers. Don't talk about no automations. Don't talk about no funnels, none of that crap, because it doesn't matter to them. They just care about how people are going to walk in through the front door and do business with them. So the result that you provide to them is what matters. So do not sell features. If you want more ideas on how to do that, jump into our 5-day challenge. It's all free to you if you're a high leveler. And we talk about breaking down one offer, which is the missed call text back, and walking people through that. Anyways, sorry, Joel. I just had to put that in because I know a ton of people are watching that are SaaS agencies and they lead with a lot of features. It's a huge mistake.
No, you're fine. Yeah, no, I mean, and this should get you out of that feature mentality, because this is all about getting to know them and their problems and digging deep. It's all about them. Don't talk about feature. Here's a good way to look at it. Don't talk about features, talk about them. Don't talk about features, talk about them. So, all right, phase 4. At this point, we got them to say yes to having a conversation. We went deep. We got them to realize, oh, wow, I have a problem. And now we've hopefully positioned ourselves as the solution to that problem. At this point, they should be pretty bought in. Like, at this point, we've had people be like, I'm ready. How do I get started? They're starting to show buying signals. They're like, cool, what's the next step? That being said, this is where you want to, so the point is, they should be sold 80% of the way at this point. If they're like, why should I trust you? Like, someone in the YouTube comments mentioned, handle that objection. But if you're having to do that hardcore objection handling, where it's like a trust objection as opposed to a logistical objection, then it's very hard to win them back at this late in the game. If you're having to do trust-based objections this late in the game, it's going to be hard. Like that just means that you just forced yourself through the script. It shouldn't feel forced. It shouldn't feel forced. And that's probably the hardest part, is getting them chill out and go along for the ride. Okay, cool. So phase 4. So Dr. Paulson, out of curiosity, does this check off some of the boxes? Do you see how working with someone like us would bring in dental implant patients that actually show up and pay into your luxury practice?
Absolutely. Yeah. It makes sense.
Awesome, Dr. Paulson. So I'm a visual person. The next step would be for us to have a demo scheduled where we will visually walk you through the system and everything included, because you're probably thinking, what does the ads look like? What does the CRM look like? What do the automations look like? And like I said, no problem. I will walk you through all of that. But you let me know where you'd like to go from here.
Well, I guess we can schedule something where you can show me how you would, get all this done for us.
Okay, awesome. So are you in front of a computer? And have an additional, 20 minutes or so, and we can cover that right now?
Yeah, I could, but I do have another patient to get to. But can we set it up maybe first thing tomorrow? Was that easy mode or hard mode? I can't tell.
I mean, no, it's not. It's more like it's not easy or hard for me. It's more so just making it easy for us to go through this.
Got it. Sorry. Yeah. We can do a
Um,
20-minute demo right now. No problem.
Okay. Okay. If they say yes, you take them right then and there. If they say no, if you're like tomorrow, let's do tomorrow. Be like, by any chance, do you have any openings this afternoon? That's probably what I would say. So if you're
Yeah.
like, hey, let's do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Be like,
We
Dr.
could.
Paulson, by any chance, do you have any afternoon openings? And if you say no, I'd probably say, okay, let's go ahead and do tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
again, at this point, they should be pretty bought in. I'm not gonna fight them on this. This is more a logistical situation, trying to figure out logistics. But if I could take them right then and there, that's option one. Option two is later that day. Option three is next day. Option four is pushing it out.
Yeah.
So that's the order of priority.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got you in. Let's say we decided on this afternoon. So I've got you in for this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern time. You're going to get a confirmation email and text. The Zoom link will be included. If you could just make sure you're in front of a computer to not cause you any eye strain, because we're going to be going over some nitty-gritty details. And I did have a question, though. Is there anybody else that you look to for a second opinion? I know you mentioned you had an associate, but I don't know if they own the practice with you. Do you have any partners?
No, it's just me. But I will have to talk to my wife before I make a decision fully, but she's not part of the practice.
Okay. So at this point, if they say no, I would probably say something like, well, out of curiosity, did anyone come to mind when I said that? And you said your wife, I'd probably ask, is there any way she could attend? It sounds like it's important for you guys to make these financial decisions together. Again, at this point, if you're going to start pushing back, she's not going to make it. I'm still going to take the demo. I'm going to not be that aggressive, but I'm still going to try to go for it. If you say, yes, I do have my business partner, all I would ask is, what's their name and is it possible that they can attend? Again, I'm not going to fight you at this point.
Yeah, what I'll probably do is
I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna die on the hill for this. Like, I'd probably just be like, if you said your wife, I'd be like, oh, it seems like it is important for you guys to make these sorts of decisions together. It might be a good idea for you to bring her on. By any chance, is there any way that she'd be available at that time?
Yeah, I can have her show up to the call as well.
And if you're like, no, I'd just be like, no worries, that's okay. Is there anyone else that came to mind?
Got it.
And then at the end, we say, great. Sometimes it ends up in your spam folder, so just be sure to check that. And last thing, your practice does come before the call. I know you're super busy, have a lot of patients coming in and out. So if you have a patient that needs to be attended to or something comes up, all that I ask is that you text us back at this number that we're calling you on right now. So you have my number and just let us know. That's not a problem. If something comes up, again, all I ask is that you shoot me a quick text.
Sure.
And we can always reschedule.
Sounds like a plan.
Awesome. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.
Okay.
End call. So that's a successful intro call one. Now, we went over some of these objections. If they're resistant, so if they're really pushing back, let's say you give me the price objection. I say, no worries, we can definitely go over the price. It really mainly depends on what you're looking for. And I don't want to tell you something unless I know for a fact that we can help you. With that in mind, what's the main service that you guys are looking to focus on in 2024? Dental implants.
Yeah.
And I'm getting you right back. And if you start pushing back and you're just an asshole, let's say that you're mean Dr. Paulson, then I'm going to say this. Look, Dr. Paulson, to be honest, my intent with this call is, and actually pause. What I'm trying to do here is disarm the situation. I'm kind of being vulnerable and hopefully get them on my side. And if it doesn't work, it's going to be tough. Like, if someone's an asshole after this, the likelihood of them buying is very low. So, look, Dr. Paulson, my intent here is not to bash you or come off too strong. I'm just trying to get a better understanding of your practice and see where you're at and what you're looking for. Maybe a better place to start is you walk me through everything. You share what you feel like you want to share, and we start with that. Why don't you just maybe start with what you feel like I should know to see if I can help you. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that does.
And if you're like, no, fuck F you, then the chances of just the chances of getting back the leadership, the frame to lead the conversation is very low and requires some next level mental ninja tactics that's advanced. Like if the guy is still like, no, I'd maybe at that point throw in like a, look, Dr. Like a very honest, I'm willing, like at that point, I'm probably risking everything. I'll probably say like, look, Dr. Paulson, it sounds like you don't want this. It sounds like you don't even want to be on this call. Like I said, I'm more than happy to help. First, I want to see if we can help. We don't have to do this call though. If you feel like you need to hop off here, I fully respect that. And like I said, I would be more than happy to also help, and we can. I would absolutely love to keep going. And I'd shut up, and I just let you then decide if we're moving forward, because essentially at that point, if you say, yeah, let's keep going, you're submitting to me. And if you say no, then I lose the sale, but at least I risked for it. I risked it. I went for it.
That makes sense. I think
And
I think the key to good sales is making sure you're in control of the conversations. And sometimes in the early beginning stages, a lot of you that are starting out especially, you might feel a bit more pressured. Like you might feel a little desperate that you're like, you know what, I got to get this client so I can make some money so I can move the business forward. So like make sure you function from a place of abundance, that you don't need to be working with every client. You're selecting which clients you want to work from in a market, and that's the mentality you always have to have, regardless whether you're starting out or not. Sometimes when you have brand new offers, you're not going to have the confidence, right? So in a sense, you got to kind of play hard to get in the world of prospecting, and a lot of times that gives you that extra edge to be authoritative. Otherwise, you're going to let the prospect run you around in the framework where you're not going to get them over to phase 4, which is closing the deal. You'll get stuck in phase 2, back to 1,
closing the
to
demo.
2. Right, closing the demo, whatever the next transition is, you'll find yourself stuck in phase 1 and 2 over and over like a little rat race, because you're not controlling the agenda of the call. Okay, so in the beginning, remember to not operate in desperation to get the sale. It's okay to lose the sale.
And you guys probably noticed I started a lot on purpose. Even when I go into the script, I change a little bit. I'm more like submissive, more like, oh, I don't want to step on your toes, but at the same time, I'm leading everything. So it's like it's a trick to disarm Paulson so that he takes my lead and I'm not a threat. Because at first we go into it and he thinks this guy's trying to sell me big threat. So I'm like, oh, is this a good time for about a 10 to 15 minute chat? Yes, awesome. Why don't we start off with a 30,000 foot view? Tell me everything, whatever you feel like I need to know. I would love to hear about what you guys have tried, what's worked, what hasn't, all that good stuff. Cool. Then we start to get to know each other more and more and more and more and more. And if at some point you're like, well, tell me the price, I'll try to handle that objection and bring you right back to a question for the script. And at that point, if you're like, no, I'm not going to get burned by you. And then at that point, I'd be like, look, Dr. Paulson, again, my intent is not to bash you or come off too strong. I'm just trying to get a better understanding of where you're at, where you want to go, and see if I can help. And it's very submissive. And maybe a better place to start is you walk me through it. You share what you want to share. And maybe that's a better start. Does that sound fair? But I'm actually leading it. I'm saying, hey, are you willing to play ball? Are you willing to play by my rules? And if he's still like, no, then at that point, I'm like, look, Dr. Paul, like I'd probably just say anything. Look, Dr. Paulson, it sounds like you don't want to be here. We don't have to do this call. Again, I'd be more than happy to help. It sounds like there's a lot of things that happened with other agencies that didn't go according to plan. They were running your teeth cleaning ads for dental implants, which is crazy. And I promise you, we won't do that. And I'm sure in your field, there's amazing dentists and also some really bad ones. And I'm going to do my absolute best to try to help you out. And with that in mind, first I need to understand your practice a little bit more and see if we can help.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to do this call, that's also okay. So why don't you tell me where you'd like to go from here?
Yeah.
And now, if he submits, I win.
Yeah. So
Right?
Joel, can I add a few notes to this? So like in the world of sales, guys and gals, they say the person that's in control is the person that's asking the questions, right? You always have to be the person that's asking the questions. The next level of that is the person that gives the control. Right. What that means is like when I talk to my prospects, I'm going to let them feel like they're leading, even though I'm the actual leader. Right. I'm going to help them understand, hey, is there anything that you feel like we didn't cover that you would like to bring to the table that I might have missed? So then all of a sudden, you being the leader there and allowing them to dictate how we're going to finish up the call or move to the next phase of the call, it gives them the feel and control that they want. At the same time, the ultimate person that's in control is the person that's giving control. I hope that makes sense to a lot of you. But the key is to let them feel like they're in charge while you're in charge.
And no, it's a mind bender. I think that yeah, it's a mind bender. You guys, it'll click for you guys, but the idea is always loop them back into asking questions, and then if they get too aggressive, respond to it, try to get them to loop back into the questions. If they get overly aggressive, then just be honest with them. Be like, look, I'm not trying to come off too strong or bash you. And if they're still so aggressive, then put them on like an ultimatum. Are we doing this call my way or are we not? And I would do it in a very kind way, a very submissive way. Like, again, like Dr. Paulson, I know there's a lot of bad dentists out there. There's also some amazing dentists. I understand you've been burned. I'll do everything in my power to make sure this is a great experience for you. First, I need to know if we can even help. If you want to get off this call, that's okay. And if you want to continue, like I said, I'm more than happy to help. So, you tell me where you'd like to go from here. And at that point, if you say I'm getting off this call, then I lose it. But if you say I'm staying on, then you're going to be following my lead.
Absolutely. I love
It's
that.
kind of like rationalizing with like an angry person. That's really what it is. Or with a person that's that has tension. Okay. So we get them scheduled for the demo. Let's go over the demo. Now, here's where we get into paper show.
Joel, real quick, just FYI, we got about 20, 30 minutes left. Is that enough time?
Yes, demo is easy. So guys,
Cool.
80-20 of this is that intro call. If you do an excellent intro call, this part should be easy. I hate using the word easy, but I'm going to say it. If you do an excellent job on the hard thing, which is the intro call, this part should be the easy part. So I'm going to go through it fast. Really, all we're trying to do with the demo is get them to check off mental boxes. Here's how we're going to do that. There's really 4 phases. What makes us different? Does this work for other people in my space? And the more you are in business, the easier it'll be to prove that.
Yep.
Answer frequently asked questions and show the actual product. That's really the main goal. So let's go through it very quickly. Again, this part should be the
By the way,
this should be the simple part.
By the way, if you jump into the Joel Kaplan offer for the workshop, you get all this stuff for free. The demos, the snapshots, funnels, like ads, all his courses, like you get a ton of things for free, just FYI. Go ahead, Joel.
Absolutely.
So
first we start off. So I put slides for you guys to explain all the other slides so that you could just fill it in. So the first thing is we want to start with a quick recap. And wait, what's going on? Oh yeah, here we go. So first things first, we want to start with a quick recap. And has anything changed? This is if you're doing it later. So hey, quick recap of everything we talked about. And has anything changed since we talked? If the answer is Well, here, just because we have 20 or 30 minutes, I'm going to just rush through this.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to start. First, quick recap, and has anything changed? If you just had the initial call and you're doing this back to back, you can skip this slide. Next, we're going to break down the process and plant the seed for the sale. So I'll be like, look, this is where we're at. We had our intro call, and I literally want to tell them, we had our intro call to see if it's a good fit. Now we're on the demo call. The next step would be technical setup. The next step after that, we're going to build out your system. The next step after that, you're going to have your launch call with our account manager, and then we go live. And that whole process from today to when you go live will take about 14 days. I'm planting the seed for the sale.
Real quick, Joel. So right here, this slide is probably the most important slide because you're the person that is setting the agenda for the call. That means you're assuming authority. You're assuming authority for the call and you're setting the agenda. If you don't have anything, even if you're on a phone call, even if you don't do like a Zoom call, set the agenda as you begin the conversation. Keep going, Joel.
Okay, again, these slides right here is just explaining the other slides. So this slide, and this slide do not have them in your slides. It's just me explaining so you guys can fill it in. Next, we're going to go over what this is not. So before we go any further, let me share with you what this is not. We're not going to set up some simple Facebook ads. We're not going to just send you some leads. We're not going to charge you crazy high retainers. And this is not you ending up hating us and us ending up with a bad review like that other agency that just sent you teeth cleaning leads, which I won't talk about anymore, Dr. Paulson. But now this is where your big, bold claim comes in. So what this is, it's a proven system to fill your practice with high-quality patients that prepay, actually show up and close. Literally zero risk to you. Now, my goal is to show you how we're helping chiropractors, just like you, leverage the system to add 20K, 30K, even 50K a month in their practice in as little as 30 days. And I had a huge case study right there if you have that. If not, you could literally take that out. Now, let's break down at this point, we're going to break down the system and throw in more social proof. So most importantly, how we're going to break down how this is all done on a pay-per-show basis. Like some of these docs. So these are some of the doctors that we work with and even more doctors. If you don't have social proof, I want you to do this. Delete them, delete them, delete them. Just skip it. If you don't have the social proof, you're just starting out. We scaled Atlas Dental, which was our dental agency, from zero to about $20,000 a month with zero social proof. One of my students, Amin Gadi and Alex Ivanov, incredible individuals. They scaled a brand new agency. They knew how to run agencies. They had a 7-figure agency, but they launched a new agency in the dental space, and they scaled it from zero to $100,000 a month in 30 days with zero case studies. So is it hard? For sure, but it is possible. Now, what we want to do is, if you have social proof, you want to put it here. If you literally only have one social proof, you could be like Dr. John, and put his social proof. You could even just have their one testimonial video.
Yeah. By the way, if any of you are brand new and you're trying to get to like the first customer, I have a 5-day challenge that's free where I show you how to build an agency right off the scratch without any social proof. Like, so we basically put together like a beta angle of telling them, hey, you're part of our first 5 people in a beta. We're trying to build social proof so we can get out to the market, and we give them a discounted offer. Just FYI, that is possible. Keep going, Joel. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, no worries. Next, if you have a lot of social proof, it's a really badass question to ask. If you do have it, like, do you recognize anyone here? Because like, imagine if they do. That's crazy. They're like, yeah, I went to college with that guy. Then we're going to explain what makes us different from every other agency. This is really important. We're essentially addressing this objection before it happens later on. We're almost cementing in their mind that we're different. So let's address the elephant in the room, what makes us different. And now what you're going to do is you're literally just going to put a list of all the things that make you different. You don't have to overcomplicate this. For example,
be truthful and honest.
Yeah, no, yeah, don't lie. That's a great point. Everyone's like, can we fake testimonials? No, I would rather you go out and get free trials or do a reactivation campaign or do a Google review campaign with high level in exchange for a testimonial video. Okay, so these are some of the things that made us different. We have a proprietary pay ahead system that gets rid of discount seeking tire kickers and gives us the highest quality patients compared to every other agency, blah, 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 blah. Plus, we are the only system that leverages AI on a 100% performance basis. So we partner with you on your practice. You pay $0 to get started. You never pay us a retainer unless you want to. You cover the ad spend. You only pay when you get a show. We are both incentivized to help you grow. Now, before we show you the system, you might be wondering, how is pay-per-show better than the normal retainer model? So with us, you only see pre-qualified prepaid patients, no more dealing with leads and appointments, just shows, and we have aligned interests. You win, we win. Whereas every other agency is going to sell you leads, you pay them before you get results, and there's really no incentive for them to get you patients to actually show. So just to be clear, there's going to be no hidden setup fee, no retainers, no more no-shows. We're going to fill your calendar, only pay for new patients, and only see pre-qualified prepaid patients.
Yeah. Pause for one.
And we leverage.
Yeah. Go to slide 22 real quick. One thing that you should all know is there is a common enemy in almost every industry. So when you use the idea of us versus them, remember, they're like agencies in general could be a common enemy, like Joel
No,
says.
agencies is a common enemy.
That is one common enemy. The other ones are certain businesses, certain brands. For example, like when I was doing dental, all the Invisalign providers hated fake aligners companies, right? So like Right Club, and there's like Choice Clear or Clear Choice. There's a bunch of these other brands that you can also leverage as a common enemy, like by saying, hey, listen, other agencies would probably not focus on great Invisalign patients while you're trying to undercut, or you're trying to just bring in folks that are not interested in like Right Club or Clear Choice and all these different things. So remember, there are multiple common enemies that you can kind of stand on to further the relationship faster, just FYI. Keep going. I think you're on slide number 24.
Yeah, and we leverage, you can put your own white labeled version of high level here. So we
Yeah.
leverage high level and AI to have customized conversations with every patient and get them scheduled. Now, before we go any further, can you see why a true pay-per-show model is the only real way to go? I'm curious why though. What about it catches your attention the most? And then now if you have more social proof, you're going to show more social proof. If you're not, you're going to skip this entire section. Now, here's some of our clients that are using this model. So then we just go through it. And by the way, if I'm doing this, I'm going through it very fast. I'm like, Dr. Paterna, he collected over 6 figures in less than a year. Dr. Kosterman, Dr. Eric. I would no longer than 5 seconds on a slide. And then now you're going to show and tell the system. In a perfect world, you actually take them into your high level. You take them into the ads. You actually show them system a little bit. In a perfect world. Now, I gave you guys a placeholder here of like all the things that they're going to get. With high level, everything. But in a perfect world, you actually go through and show them. Here's the ads on TikTok. Here's the high level sequence.
Yeah.
I would actually take them through it and show them. Here's the AI actually working within high level.
Yeah. By the way, if you guys ever do a in-app demo, don't go into all aspects of the app. Just focus on the pipelines and just focus on inbox conversations and nowhere else. Like, don't go into building.
I would just show them the AI, honestly. Be like, look, it's literally texting people automated.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? And then they're like, oh my God. And again, all I'm trying to do is get them to know what they're signing up for so that in 3 months, they're not like, this is not what I paid for. I want them to know exactly what they're paying for so that they retain. So getting you new patients at prepay and close is great, but what do we do to the patients that didn't schedule or scheduled but didn't close? And again, if you already went through this in the intro, you could address it. Step 3 is the patient journey automation. And we talk about, again, high level. So do you see how this could work? Do you think this 3-step process is exactly what you need to, get to whatever goal you have? And by the way, all these questions should be memorized. All these little things, all these slides.
Transition questions, right?
Yeah, they should be like written, or you could write them down somewhere where as you're going through the ad system, you could be like, look, Dr. Paulson, so I know getting new patients that prepay and close is great, but you know, what about the patients that didn't schedule or scheduled but didn't close, right? So you want to have this written down somewhere so that you're saying these things without literally reading the slides. I meant to say that earlier. What happened here? Uh-oh.
1600, that's why. Go down to fit the window.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Cool. All right. Then you want to go over frequently asked questions. I would literally just put like your main frequently asked questions. You know, everything is month to month. We have exclusivity policy. Add any more FAQs there. And I would ask them, what questions do you have that weren't on the FAQ? Cool. So we do have a guarantee if you want. By the way, you don't need one for this offer. But if you want, you could throw it in. Like we get you, again, if you prepay, we're going to get you 20 patients that show. That's a guarantee. If not, we'll give you a refund for any people that didn't show. So if you bought 20 prepaid patients and we only got you 10, we'll refund the difference. Not including ad spend though. And then we're going to go over some bonuses. Plus on top of that, we have some free bonuses. Our Google review campaign, patient reactivation campaign, which by the way, we're giving you guys for free in the snapshots. We went over it on day one. Plus, we have our Let Us Pay Your Referral program. So for every chiropractor partner that you refer to us that invests a minimum of $1,500 a month with us, we send you $500 cash per month as long as they stay.
By
So
the way,
remember, I
Joel,
told you guys.
By the way, Joel, I want to give you credit where it's due. You were one of the first people in the agency space that I've seen launch a affiliate program for the local businesses. And it was, I mean, you had a few chiropractors that like let go of their clinic and like their practice and just went all in on your program, right? Like if I can remember, like at least one,
Yeah,
which is crazy because they're
there
making
were a
like,
handful. Yeah.
yeah, and which is nuts because they're like, I don't want to deal with patients. I'd rather just go build businesses.
Send you Kairos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you go over that
So
program?
remember we, yeah, I mean, remember we talked on day one, we talked about how high level really grew through affiliates. And I told you guys I would show you a way that you could do that for your own agency. Essentially, what I would do is I would raise prices by $500 a month and then use that as a budget for your affiliate program, where all of your clients that send you clients, you pay them 500. You don't discount them 500. You actually pay them. And this actually solves multiple problems, or it helps with multiple things. Number one, it increases retention on both sides because now this person's making money from you. They're not going to want to leave. And if the other person wants to leave that they referred, they lose money. So they're going to try to convince this person to stay. So it's like you're getting retention increase on both sides. And on top of that, it changes the relationship. It goes from you're just my marketing agency to, hey, we actually can be partners on this and grow together.
Yeah. Can you go to
It's
that
very
slide
different.
and kind of map out the math real quick? And guys, like I did something very similar in the dental space. And the key is to identify like folks with authority in the industry, not just anybody. Like, so I went after the dental professors that every dentist listened to and thought is a thought leader, essentially, right? So that having a relationship with somebody that has influence is key because I even brought some of those dentists to come into other practices and teach them sales. They would do something called case presentations, and that's like a skill in itself on how you present a diagnosis to a solution for patient care. Like, so I leveraged a lot of these relationships, even more than from like a revenue affiliate standpoint. But just so you know, for go after folks
I mean, look,
has authority. Can you go break down the numbers here? It was
yeah. So for
crazy.
example, like I was paying Dr. Jen and Dr. Brian 15,000 a month off of just people they referred to me. You know, this one,
Which is only
2,500.
500 from one of your retainers, right? So that means you probably got like over 100 grand from just them on retainers.
Yeah, their entire our business, a little more than a third of it was all referrals, but we incentivize referrals.
Crazy. right? That's
So
just from
and now here's the genius part. I'm making it as a part of the bonus. So now I'm actually planning this. This is benefits me. So they're like, oh my God, I get this bonus, but it's really a bonus that helps me get clients. And I address this referral program throughout my whole relationship with the client, on the sales call, on the launch call, on our first check-in during the first big win. I try to push this referral program. Like, hey, if you're liking our service, if you literally refer 3 people that sign up, you get $1,500 a month. If you refer 5, that's $2,500 a month. If you refer 10, that's $5,000 a month. They're like, oh my God, yeah, I got to get on this.
and you
And we
do
had
that
doctors that would
recurring,
literally,
right? You do that recurring.
it's recurring. It's as long as they stay. So it incentivizes retention on both sides. And the moment you leave, you stop getting paid by me. So like Dr. Jen and Dr. Brian would never want to leave. They're like, if I leave, I lose out on this money.
Yeah.
Okay, so
affiliate marketing 101.
all right, so let's talk about how to get started with our pay-per-show system. Option 1, $0 setup fee, $125 per prepaid patient, minimum 20 patient credit. So it'll be $2,500 to get started plus ad spender. Option 2, it's $19.97 a month, and you get unlimited patients for $0. So if you do want to go with a retainer, we do give everyone that option. It's up to you though. No pressure either way. It would be $19.97 to get started plus ad spend. Which option sounds best to you? At this point, they should pick an option which tees you up for the sale. Awesome. Now I'm not taking their credit card just yet. Awesome. You like option 2. Great. Now let's go over ad spend. So we have 3 options. Good,
Joel,
better,
you
and
skipped
best.
you skipped over a really important thing. When go back to
I know, I think you said we only had 20 minutes, right?
I
So
know,
was
I
just
know.
going fast.
Thank you, bro. Go to 71. As soon for all of you that are new to sales, as soon as you present an offer or price, close your mouth. Don't talk. Just let them react to what they just learned and observed. Right here, it could be awkward for 30 seconds, 1 minute. It doesn't matter. Let them process the next investment to bring their business out of the trenches. Right? So stay quiet as soon as you
Paulson,
present.
do you see how after we spent so much time together, especially on that intro, this doesn't feel like a lot? Whereas if we're just like, hey, we just met, I'm getting through this fast, this feels like a lot. It's like,
yeah. Another thing is before the demo, you're also sending them videos of the demo of previous interactions and kind of priming them to prep for the demo as well. So by the time they get to the demo, they're like, oh, I already know what you're going to tell me. Then it's a confirmation of what you thought. And then we put guarantees in the relationship to be, the expectations are set better. But yeah, 1000%, Joel. I see how if you win the heart at the intro, you can just close easy on the actual demo.
yeah. So I think that after you say which option sounds best to you, you shut up, you let them decide, make it awkward, and then they should pick one, right?
Yeah.
Now, then we go over ad spend. Cool. So we have 3 options. Good, $50 a day, better, $100 a day, best, $150 a day. Most clients go with better option, $100 a day. And if you're really looking to scale fast, our top clients end up going with the best option. So with that in mind, which option sounds best for you?
And do you do the same thing for retainer?
Yeah.
Spend? Okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly. Remember, the more ad spend, the easier it is to get results. So I'm going for best. Most people pick better. So at that point, I'm actually sending them, it depends if we're doing ad spend on their credit card or on mine. If I'm running the ads on my ad account, then I have to send them 2 separate invoices, one for ad spend, one for the credit or the retainer. The reason for this is because if I send them all in one bill and they for some reason decide they weren't happy with us, I lose the money that I already gave to Facebook or TikTok. So I bill them twice, once for ad spend, once for my services. Now, if we're using their credit card, you only have to bill them for your services and get their credit card on file for the ads. Cool. At this point, they pick, great. Then it's very simple. You're going to have to ask for the credit card. What I like to do is, would it be easier if you get me your card numbers and I can take care of it for you, or if I send you a link right now and we do it together. That's how I like to do it. It's very easy. Again, low tension. Would you prefer if you share your card details with me and I get you all set up, or would it be easier if I send you a link and we could do it right here together? Cool, send me a link. You have two options. You can either text them the link and be on the Zoom as they're doing it and watching them, or you could share your screen and pull up that link. Personally, I'd rather just shoot them the link. So again, at this point, very simple. Dr. Paulson, sounds good. You want to go with option number one, and you want this much in ad spend. We'll put that on your credit card on your TikTok ad account, so we don't have to worry about that. That being said, would it be easier if you share your card details with me over the Zoom and I do it here on my end, or would it be easier if I send you a link and you can take care of it on your end right now on the call?
Yes, absolutely. And for those of you that are watching, inside high level, there's invoicing, there's subscriptions if you're doing SaaS, and they're like all the invoicing, the billing could all be automated inside high level for an agency, just FYI. Joel, can you talk a little bit about what happens after the sale? Like, how do you transition them into the next steps? Or is there anything else we need to know about the close of the sale?
Okay, so you take their payment, and then here's what happens next. So you get their payment, awesome, great, you're all set up. Then you go over next steps. Now, if they're like, no, I want to think about it, blah, 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 we could spend a whole 2 hours on objection handling here. We don't have the time. I will give you guys my top secret strategy to get people over the edge. This helped us close hundreds of clients, and I use it in every single one of my businesses. If they're like, let me think about it, let me think about it, let me think about it. Let's say I can't overcome it. Here's what I do. No worries. If you would like to think about it, that's no problem at all. We just ask for a 100% fully refundable deposit of $250 to hold your spot with option whatever that you picked for 72 hours. In the meantime, we're also going to be connecting you with some of our clients while you wait. So the next step would be for you to take some time to think about it, speak with our other clients that have gone through our program, and we will be more than happy to schedule a follow-up call to decide on moving forward or give you the full refund, which will show up in 5 to 10 business days.
Yeah.
Now, here's the key. Every single one of my business has a strategic reference. I have one of my best clients who I can call up at any time to hop on a call and help me get people over the edge. This is one of my greatest hacks of all time. In Atlas Dental, Paulson, we could not crack past 20K a month. We were stuck. It was very hard. Then we found a dentist who loved us, who said, I'll hop on every call with you guys. All we did was we split the commission between the closer and the strategic reference.
Yeah.
5% and 5%. And we told them, hey, hop on the call. And we scaled from 20K a month to 80K a month within those next few months, just from that one tweak. So if they want to think about it, and by the way, if they actually want to think about it and they aren't willing to hop on with your client, then it's a smoke screen. They actually don't want to think about it. They're not bought in. But if they're actually like, hey, I just want to think about it, which is fair, they need some time. The main thing to do here is you want to make it mandatory for them to speak with your strategic reference that's going to hype you up. So then you schedule the follow-up and you try to close them then. Assuming they're closed, just for the sake of time. Cool. We just finished the demo call. Congratulations, Dr. Paulson. Welcome to the Agency Lab family. We're so excited to have you. We're going to crush it for you. I'm not going to run teeth cleaning ads. Don't worry. So the next step would be for us to have a success workshop where we actually meet with your team. Like I said, I don't know if you remember earlier, we talked about training your team. So we're going to actually meet with your entire team, you as well, breaking down what it takes to succeed with our system. We could get that scheduled right now. Then we're going to actually take the next week to build out your system. Then you're going to have your launch call and blah, blah, blah. So we ended up even getting them a one-on-one with our best client to help out before they go live. That really helped to, again, get them really excited, get them really bought in. At that point, this is where I would have, whenever they pay the invoice on high level, it should kick off all of your onboarding processes. I cannot teach that right now. That's a complex thing. There's a
Yeah, you
hold
should
on.
have like
Let me.
automation firing
I
on
want to show you. I
welcoming
want to show you
them
guys this.
into your world.
But there's a guy that I highly recommend, high leveler. Let me pull him up. 1 second.
Hopefully this has been helping you guys. I know there's a lot of different details, and Joel threw this last minute role playing on me, but I think we did pretty good. Just to shoot off the cuff from old experiences, you know. And these scripts and these
So if you
frameworks
guys,
go ahead.
if you guys see this video right here, how to onboard SMMA clients on my channel, just look up Joel Kaplan or Joel Kaplan SMMA. This video is with a high leveler, and he gives away his entire onboarding sequence as soon as the invoice is paid. So we do not have time to cover it right now. But
It's
this
too much.
video,
Yeah,
it shows you what to do after the invoice is paid. It literally breaks down all the automations that fire in high level to get everything rolling.
yeah. The excitement should stay. Like, remember when if you went to buy a fancy car, that excitement stays with you for several days. So it's important for you to ride that wave of excitement, that energy that they just invested into their own business by going with someone that knows marketing, right? So keep that energy going with automation. Say congratulations, send them, a gift, send them collateral, send them multiple things, even if it's just like, I don't know, cookies or a bottle of wine or whatever. You need to think through on what kind of client onboarding experience you're going to want to provide. And that's not something we're covering on this call. I'm just highlighting, again, the importance of it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for you guys is that 80-20 is that first call. Hopefully you guys can see how that second call is more just like checking off the boxes. Let me show you what you're getting so you know what you're signing up for. Let's go over some logistics. Let's go over the pricing, and let's get you to buy. And at that point, Dr. Paulson should be pretty sold. I'd say 80% of the way there. Not saying that you might not have resistance at the end, but like you should at least be aligned with me. You shouldn't be like on a different world where you're like sitting through this and you don't even want to be there.
Let's say they say no for whatever reason. It's not a harsh no, but not like it's like lukewarm no, right? You should have 8 to 12 touch points that brings them back into an active sales cycle. So like even if you get a no today, it doesn't matter. The sales cycle of an agency is usually 45 to 60 days long. It takes 8 to 12 touch points with different mediums. So like don't give up on the prospect. The actual business for yourself is built on the follow-up.
Yeah, and by the way, there's also like, I don't want to get into too crazy of a tangent, but like if someone is really like, no, I'm not ready, you can also downsell other things. You could be like, why don't we start off with a reactivation campaign or a Google review campaign, just so you could get a little taste of what we could do for you. And just so you could see the power behind some of our marketing, some of our tech, our CRM, all that good stuff. So you guys can always still get them to engage in a business relationship with you, even if it's not a full sale just yet.
Yeah.
So like what I told my sales team, especially when we're starting out, you want to make it easier for yourself, for the prospect to say yes. The longer you're doing this, the more you've earned the right to be picky. So it's like, you don't want to pay, no worries. But at the beginning, you kind of want to squeeze the juice out of every opportunity you can get. So if they say, no, I'm not ready to buy, let's say that they're really not going to buy, you could say, no worries. Another option is for us to just start with a Google review campaign where we will take a database of all of your existing patients, clients, and we will leverage our software, aka High Level, to reach out to all of those people and get you filled up with 5-star reviews. And you saw it on the demo as one of the bonuses. I'm happy just so you can see the power of what we can do here.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to do that for you at no cost. All I ask is that if you get over 30 5-star reviews, you leave us a 5-star review. That's all I ask. If I get you 30, because it's no cost. So Dr. Paulson, if I get you 30, not 10, not 20, 30, you get us a 5-star review. Now, if I get you 50, you also make me a testimonial video. So if you get you 30, you leave me a 5-star review on Google or wherever, my Facebook page, doesn't matter. It's more so you have that written review. And then if I get you 50, you leave a testimonial video. And that way you can see the power of our system and what we could do, and we could really start to work together. And that way I can also earn your trust to show you, hey, this ad system is really going to work. And then if you say no, then that person is not, like, they're out. So you guys can also do that as a last case resort, which, by the way, if you do that enough times, it'll help you get, like, imagine if you do that 10 times and you have 10 testimonial videos and 10 written 5-star reviews, you'll have enough social proof. I know I had like 100, but with 10, you are farther ahead than most people in this industry. So
Joel,
Paulson, that's it.
Let's close out for the day. What are we going to learn tomorrow? Tomorrow, by the way, today's not the last day for the 3-day workshop. I know we're on the 3rd day, but we basically put together a bonus day for all of you for tomorrow. And Joel, what are we going to cover tomorrow that they should get excited for?
Yeah, so tomorrow we're going to have a really special guest who has built out all of my AI sequences in high level. So this is the person that I go to help me. So I literally have high level saying crazy stuff to all of my leads to get them booked. Like, there's this automation thing I told Paulson. It sends them a picture of a rock and it says thinking of you. And this is the AI. It says thinking of you. And people respond every time. It's crazy. So with that in mind, tomorrow we're going to be teaching you guys how to leverage AI to make this process easier, not only for yourself and your own agency leads, but also for all of your clients' leads, like we talked about on day 1. So
love it.
Tomorrow's all about AI. And the last thing is, if we have time tomorrow, we're also going to do Q&A and next steps. So actually mapping out.
Yeah, tomorrow we're going to do one more item that we didn't plan for initially, but it's just based on the feedback. Do y'all see my screen here? Oh, let me just share my screen. Okay. I know this workshop so far has been extremely valuable. At the same time, it could be overwhelming with the amount of information, because a lot of you are brand new. I know a lot of the advanced agencies are like, oh yeah, these are things that we do. I'm getting a lot of new strategies out of it. But tomorrow, towards the end of the call, we're gonna map out a 2024 annual action master plan that you're going to be able to decide on what you focus on in an isolated way. So like January, we'll figure out whether you're just going to do cold emailing. So chronologically, with everything we taught you, we're going to put together an annual plan of what kind of action you should take. That's going to really pull everything together on the things we taught for the first essentially 4 days, in teaching you how to build, a multi-million-dollar business. But anyways, Joel, any final words for today?
No, guys, that's it. I'm trying to teach you guys everything I know in 4 days. So it's been freaking awesome. I'll see you guys on day 4.
All right.
Paulson, Dr. Paulson. I'll send you my high level invoice and you can take care of that bill.
Love it. Love it. I need to talk to my wife.
Spare time.
But anyways, take care.
You're at home. I know you're at home. Call her over.
Love it. All right. See you guys tomorrow, same time, 12 p.m. EST. Today, we did not stream into the Facebook group due to Zoom having an outage. And we have the live stream in the YouTube channel. If you get into a high-level account, you can get access to all the videos, all the collaterals. By the way, that offer that
go ahead. One last thing. Sorry, I forgot. I also want to give a massive shout out to our CRO, my Chief Revenue Officer, Joe Paulson, because he is the one who actually modified this script and he's helped us master it over time. He's been known to close a 6-figure deal with a Fortune 500 company off of a cold call. So this guy is insane. So I did want to give a quick shout out. Like, the demo presentation was me and Sergio's creation, but Joe really mastered that
Yeah.
the intro call. So I did want to give credit where credit is due. He's our Chief Revenue Officer. So just wanted to throw that
Absolutely.
out there.
Absolutely. So those of you that don't have a high level account, I'm telling you, this is going to be your last chance to jump in. This offer for Joel Kaplan's workshop, it will expire on Friday. Okay. And this is the same exact offer we're running right now with the holidays. The same promotion, but with Joel Kaplan, if you go through this link, you'll get all the collaterals from this workshop, which are worth thousands of dollars. Okay. And you get the snapshots, the demo slides, the TikTok courses, the AI stuff. I mean, like literally everything we've taught so far and what we will teach tomorrow, you get it. And all the replays and slides and everything. So go through this link, which is highlevel.com/Joel-Kaplan-offer. You get 50% off for the first 3 months on any high level plan. And this will expire on Friday. And that's the last time I'm going to be pitchy and salesy. I mean, if you don't know what high level
No,
is, you don't know how to
sign
help.
up. That's what he's trying to say.
It's worth it.
He's trying to say
It's worth it, y'all. But anyways, have a good rest of your afternoon. I got to run to the airport, Joel. I'll see you tomorrow.
Appreciate you guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Peace out.